Big O, we told you we ain't playing no games, man. It's just surely probably Pablo, Culture, Lord Productions.
Good morning, South Florida.
This is the Big O Show.
You're tuned into the Big O Show.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. Judge, you tuned in to the hottest sports radio show with Orlando, a.k.a. the Big O. He covers all the South Florida teams, from the Dolphins to the Heat, well, you know what I mean. Monday to Friday, Probably Pablo in the Big O Show. O's on the radio, the top's where we gonna go. Miami, that's the way we roll. Locked on the morning show, Big O. No one has a similar show. Talk sports, talk plays, talk live and direct. Because nobody do it better than Big O in the set. From sunrise, listen live, it's the best of the best. He's got the fans, got the heat, he's the best of the best. Big O, the only talking sports with a style. Break it a morning, it's Big O-N. Thank you for tuning in, keeping you glued in. Stay tuned, because right here's where the rumors in. Same place, because right here some of them begin. Simply call and just state your opinion. Real talk, sports talks, the Big O Show. Yeah, you love it, yeah, you like it, call him and let him know. Culture, Probably Pablo, now introducing the man of the hour. Big O, a.k.a. Orlando Gary. Yeah.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. First of all, a happy Memorial Day out there. This is what this day is all about, is celebrating those who have risked so much for all of us to enjoy the lives that we get to live every single day. And so we, Bill and myself, are proud to be here today to give you a little labor ourselves here for a couple of hours and talk a little sports. As you all know, most places are probably shut down, right? Most people aren't doing radio shows, but today we're going to grind a little bit. We're going to have some fun, and we're going to talk. And obviously, my dad served back in the 60s. So for all of you out there that served, we thank you on behalf of Bill and myself. We thank you all for serving. Those of you that are serving now, because obviously we have a lot of people that are sacrificing for us, for all of us to live the kind of lives that we live every single day. So thank you to all out there, and please be safe on Memorial Day. And, of course, we'll be here for a couple of hours having some fun. We got actually a bunch of things to talk about today on the show here on Memorial Day. If you want to get in, you want to participate, I can see the folks already signing in on the YouTube channel. And you can reach out to us there on the YouTube channel. We got the Super Chat going on the YouTube channel. And, of course, we've got Twitter at Big O Show. The email, you see it there right next to the accidentlawfirm.com text line, 786-322-1105. The email, Orlando at BigORadioshow.com. And that way you guys can reach out to us. I got to say it because, remember, most people podcast the show. You know, not the live audience is actually the small portion of the audience. The download is the one, so we've got to repeat the numbers and the way they can reach us. Because, you know, sometimes I get the text from the accidentlawfirm.com text line. I'll wake up in the morning, and then there'll be a bunch of them from overnights because somebody's listening in Malaysia. And somebody's listening in, you know, Brazil or something or somewhere else, and they're you know, a Heat fan or Dolphin fan or NFL or whatever, and they're sending me a question or a comment or whatever. So it's interesting how we're connected with the world now with this show, the way we do it, because we do it with video every single day, and this allows so many of you that are watching us in different parts of the world, and we thank you, of course, for your amazing support. As always, don't forget to give us the thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. Most importantly, share the link with people and tell them about us so we can just continue to build this thing up. So we had interesting because how much golf do you normally watch, Bill? Like if a tournament is on, honestly, don't lie now.
Majors, and usually Saturday, Sunday.
You can sit there the whole Saturday?
No. It's kind of like race car. anything NASCAR. It's a flip around, but
Like
major
for me,
points.
I keep up with it on social media, and then I know they're down on the 17th or 18th at the end.
Right.
Then I'll run over to CBS.
Masters,
And I'll watch the last hole or two. I can't watch all day.
the Masters is a different deal. I'll watch
None of them.
the last 2-3 hours when the
None of them.
when the last 4 or 5 groups of 2 are coming down.
Yeah.
And they hit Amen Corner, 11, 12, 13, that.
Yeah.
Because, we're getting to the end.
I get it.
I'll watch those last 2 hours. Masters.
That's way more than I still will watch. Yesterday, I watched more golf than I normally watch ever. Ever. Yeah. The only time I can do what Bill says is if I'm at the course and I got a cigar in hand and I'm walking, the galleys, and I'm part of the crowd, and I follow Tiger a little bit, then I'll go follow somebody else, and that I'll do. I can be all day actually at the golf course that way. You do that for me, and I'm good. I can be at the Masters. I can be at any. I can't sit down in my chair for hours and watch golf. I cannot. And yesterday, I did it. Now, yesterday, I cheated, okay? I will be honest. I let it run for like an hour and a half ahead of me. And then I sped through commercials and, when some of these guys were BSing, when the guys were talking, I'd stop. But if I saw that the guys in the booth were going to talk a little, forward it for a minute or two, whatever. I see it gets back to Brady, Manning, Tiger, whatever. I stop and boom, whatever. So I caught everything, and it was fun. I really enjoyed it actually yesterday. Now, it's not regular golf. They had cell phones. They could talk. They could have some fun with each other. It was super loose. It wasn't the regular uptight golf that you normally watch, which puts me to sleep. It doesn't matter what tournament it is, dude. There's no way I can sit there for hours and watch a golf tournament. I'm sorry, I can't. It's not in my DNA. But this was different because this was Brady and this was Manning, and then you had Woods and Mickelson, so it kind of added a lot to it. And you had obviously Barkley opening his mouth and all of that. But I the match, what is it? The Match for Champions or whatever it was called. I enjoyed it. I really did. I enjoyed the banter going back and forth. It was fun watching Brady, who really, outside of the birdie and the one putt, he really had a terrible day. Okay. He played better in the back end. And he did a better job overall, but he was the worst golfer out of the 4. And you could tell, too, again, not a golf expert, but I just kind of know athletes. And you could tell that Tom Brady would never be a better golfer than Peyton Manning. That Peyton Manning would be the better golfer out of the 2 no matter what. Because you look at Manning, it just looked like he had more touch than Tom. Tom looked more stiff out there. It looked to me, hell, Tom almost looked like he didn't even know the rules specifically. He kind of looked like I did out there. You know what I mean? And so he didn't look that comfortable also at times. To me, it looked like he's a guy that probably did some golfing, but then when he was a part of this, he probably went and golfed like crazy and tried to sharpen it up as much as possible. But he clearly was the worst golfer out of all of them. And the thing that a lot of people said, in fact, most people took, Phil and, Woods and Manning because they thought Manning, time off. He's been golfing like crazy, which is true. And it's actually, a pretty sensible point. Tom Brady's been playing football, man. He's not golfing. And meanwhile, Manning's been retired for a few years. That guy's been golfing left and right and having some fun. So his game's going to be sharper as it is. And having said all that, Manning looks to me like the guy that might have the better game out of the 2 when it's all said and done. But it was a lot of fun. I loved Peyton Manning giving Zach Thomas some love yesterday on it. If you missed it yesterday, Peyton Manning had a 54-degree wedge that he had to use. So this is what Peyton Manning was saying when he was lining up for that wedge. Go ahead.
That's all right. Like a little 54 here, huh? I like that. Little Zach Thomas.
I love it. I love it. How about that? And Peyton has always said that Zach was the smartest guy he faced in his career on defense. And that right there, that's all you need to know. So play that one more time. That is so.
Right. Like a little 54 here, huh? I like that. Little Zach Thomas.
That is so awesome that he would mention Zach Thomas in that, huh? That is so cool. And I would imagine if you're Zach, you're tripping out right now, right? If Zach's kids are probably tripping out with that right now. I think every Dolph fan in the world swelled up a little bit at that moment. Like, yeah, man, that's our guy that belongs in the Hall of Fame. You know what I mean? That kind of stuff. So it was really cool to see that. And it gives, not that this is going to mean anything in the big picture, but I like that Manning kind of kept it relevant too. With the voting and everything, hopefully he can take another step next year. I'm so fearful that he's going to be the guy on the outside looking in when it's all said and done, and he's not going to get the love he deserves because the team was so mediocre during his tenure, and it wasn't his fault, but it was just the way it is, and it's just a shame. But I loved how Peyton and that also shows you the greatness of Zach. That the impression he left on one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play the game. The guy that's considered a chess master out there on a consistent basis and trying to fool you, he had an adversary in Zach Thomas that could always match his wits, and that moment right there tells you the impression that Zach left on Peyton Manning, and I hope it resonates with more people that, don't blame Zach for the teams that he was on. You know what I mean? We didn't hold it back against Jason Taylor, and to me, Jason Taylor's a no-brainer Hall of Famer. I look at Zach the same way. The problem is because of everything. And I think also if he was physically more imposing of a player, he probably would get in, you know what I mean, like Urlacher. Because their stats are similar, except Urlacher looks the part. You know what I mean? He's a ginormous linebacker, whereas Zach Thomas is the small linebacker, the minion out of the two. But that was a nice little moment by Peyton Manning. I really like that. Hey, they raised $20 million for charity yesterday. That was so cool. You got guys calling in, and hey. Companies putting up $1.5 million for the longest shot from the tee and all this other stuff, and hey, I'll put in $150,000 if you can birdie it from this hole or whatever, and whether it was golfers, whether it was Charles Barkley, it was cool to see that they were willing to do something for a great cause in the process. Although I will say this, TNT must have hated life. Right? Because it was pouring, dude. And the rain ruined the broadcast to a certain extent. It created problems listening to the audio. It cut out mics. There were several times they tried to talk to the guys, and they couldn't respond. Hey, Peyton, this, that, and Peyton's just driving. And, hey, Tiger, da-da-da-da-da, and Tiger's just driving and doesn't hear one damn word you're saying. And it was just one of those things that that part, and it sucks for us because as fans, we don't have a lot of sporting events. And so this was one of those moments that we had a little bit of a sporting event, something to actually watch and something that brought a little personality too on top of all of that. I know that we're headed for a different norm, right? But when we get back to our norm of playing sports and getting our sports back to normal and all that stuff, I hope we don't get away too much from some of the things we have experienced the last couple of months. the draft, as personalized as it was, they've talked about keeping some of those elements. I hope they do. This right here, I hope they do more of these kind of things where you're able to pull away a few stars and get them away from their comfort zone and have some fun, show the other side of them, because it was cool watching Brady. He had his frustrations in the first half. There were moments where I think Brady, if you let him go and he was by himself, he might have thrown a club in a lake. He kept his cool overall, and he hung in there, and he stayed like, Mr. Positive. But in that first, half, you could tell there were a couple of frustrating moments for him building up. And I got to say that I was laughing my ass off. By the way, I see on the chat right now 54, as in the people that are on the chat board right now. So speaking of Zach Thomas, it's pretty cool that I'm talking about it. And I see the number 54 there. So, I just got to say that's actually really, really cool. Anyway, so Brady was, he had his frustrations, and I give him credit. He hung in there and made some shots that were pretty cool. Obviously, the birdie was absolutely fantastic. Sean Payton, by the way, as Brady was struggling, and as you all know, the Brady is now with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And so he is in the division with the New Orleans Saints. And so Sean Payton was checking out the game, and he was like, I'm all right watching this Tom Brady. He goes, I'm liking this Florida Tom Brady right now, hashtag TNT. So he liked watching Brady struggle, throughout in the first half. So I thought that was the other thing that was kind of cool about all of this, is the interaction that was going on from famous people and athletes live while this thing was being shown. I thought that was really, really, really cool. Even though I was trailing most of you because I wasn't necessarily live, because I was, forwarding through, but that was the only way I could watch it a little faster than normal. If I had to live through those commercial breaks and everything else, I don't know if I could. To be honest with you, I don't know if I could. But listen, I hope they do more of these, because it was well worth watching. And I think it's, if I don't know if Michael's so secretive, but if you got Michael and whatever, Clyde Drexler, I don't know, not Clyde. It have to be Michael and maybe, I know they don't get along anymore, Barkley. I don't know. I don't know if I want to watch Barkley, because he's such a terrible golfer. At the end, when they showed him with that one, which I think he made par. No, he went 2 shots over par. That's right. Because he missed the putts at the end. But what's it called? His golf swing's so ugly, and the way he was whacking the ball, I don't think it could be him. But Jordan and Dominique or something, maybe.
Tony Romo. Good golfer, Tony Romo.
Yeah, but there's no rivalry there. You know what I'm saying? That when you did Peyton, you did Tom Brady.
The way those guys play golf, the way the two of them play golf, competitive, it could be.
Yeah, but the storylines aren't the same. You got to get the storylines involved. Like, you got to do Magic Bird. You understand what I'm saying? That's
the only problem is being equal on the course. That's
Tom Brady wasn't an equal of anybody yesterday. Give you a break. So, but it was the drama. It was everything. It was the personality. It was Tom Brady splitting his pants yesterday. Okay, he even tore his pants yesterday. It was good. It was good. I enjoyed it. I hope they do more of those. And it was and hats off to Peyton Manning giving a little love to our boy Zach Thomas. That, my friends, was a real trip. Let me see what we got here on the chat board early on. We got Cookie Vice in, Marco Valdez, King Short, Danny Johnson. Danny Johnson says, check your messenger, please. Got a gift for you there. Enjoy. Okay. Is it Halle Berry nude or something? What do you got? What do you got for me? Let's see. Finn9113 is in the house. King Short is in the house. Matthew Walker, Dennis Akers. Let's see. Michael Sterner. Let's see. Matthew Walker says, my best friend is military training in Washington State. Oh, your best friend is a hero to us, sir. Drone Spy is in there. Should we trust anybody that names themselves Drone Spy? I try and watch. I fall asleep every time. That's what Drone Spy says on golf. I do too, man. I do too. I can't watch for a long time. I have to be there live. In order for you to keep my interest, I have to be there live. Or you have to do the kind of funky stuff that they did yesterday. Alex says, hey, let's talk about Grant and how he wants to be an every down back, and I think he needs to be Tyreek Hill to do that. Oh, you're talking about, Jakeem Grant you're talking about. And it's not an every down back. You're talking about wide receiver. Alex Toledo. Tom Brady is just a great quarterback. That's the extent of his athleticism. And there's nothing wrong with that, my man. Okay, let's not, don't make that a shot now. Okay, all right? I'll take being the GOAT at quarterback. I'll take the GOAT at being whatever, bro. There's nothing wrong. If you're a GOAT at anything, you're the GOAT of sales. You're the GOAT of running a board in a radio show. You're the GOAT of running a camera in a TV show. That's a hell of a trait. That's a talent. That's a gift. You're an important piece. Jose Cabrera's in the house. Says Manning practices all week for the tournament. I'm sure he does. Let's see. Who else do we have? Zach was a great Dolphin, one of my favorite players of all time. Ty is in the house. Flipside Fishing. Love it. Jeremy Dorsett. Zoe Vegas says active duty. Nellis Air Force Base. Red Flag Air Force. Fins up. Thank you, Zoe Vegas. Appreciate you. Alex says it's not a shot. Just a shot is athleticism, oh. Yeah, I know, but it's still pretty good athleticism. You know what I'm saying? You know? Would you take it a shot if you're the best quarterback ever and that's all you can be, Bill?
That would be just fine.
That would be just fine, right? That'll get you laid.
They were actually saying that the fact that Brady started practicing football and doing that he didn't get to dedicate the amount of time to getting his swing down. And, because there's a lot of technique. It's like bowling, throwing darts, playing pool. It's about muscle memory, doing the same thing over and over.
He looks like a stiff, dude.
And, yeah,
he doesn't look natural.
No.
He doesn't have.
Well, golf is not a natural swing.
I get that.
It's a B.
I'm not arguing that. I'm just saying I've watched enough. I've played it, and he plays like me. So I'm just saying. You know what I mean? He's just slightly better than I am.
At least it isn't as bad as Charles. Charles' swing is like
right. Charles has no business on a course.
No,
that's what it is with him. He has no business whatsoever.
And actually, to talk up Mike Trout a little bit in relation to the baseball players, it's hard because a baseball swing is one thing and a golf swing is another. And for Mike Trout to hit that golf ball that day at that driving range, the way he did, it's like, man, that's incredible because it's so different from baseball.
But no, it's not. Still, the swinging of a baseball and the swinging of a club, there's a lot of similarities to it. That's why he's so good also.
Well, baseball, you go
it's
around.
The hand-eye coordination.
No, but I'm talking about where your muscles in baseball, you go around and straight, and golf is up and down and over. You're in a different pendulum.
Yeah, but the swinging and the wristing and all that, it's kind of the same thing. That's why baseball players can be good golfers because of the hand-eye coordination, bro. They're hitting a little ball. And in baseball, they hit a little ball that's moving.
Well, that is probably the absolute hardest.
That's what I'm saying.
Golf is right there.
So for baseball players, when you put it still, that's going to be simple. It's like, okay, no problem. It's hockey players, the same thing. In the swinging motion, look at hockey players. They're also good golfers. But that's because hockey and baseball has some of those elements of golf.
I think golfers,
so it translates.
Hockey would be because the puck is where the golf ball is. Where baseball, it's more in your middle. You know what I mean? To get it down and up and over.
To me, golf becomes easier for baseball players and for hockey players because they are hand-eye coordination with things that move. They're all hard, but hitting a puck that's moving, the way those guys like pass it to each other at lightning quick speeds, and then baseball players hitting 95 mile an hour, fork balls or curve balls or change ups or whatever.
Breaking ball, yeah.
Breaking, whatever, bro. They're amazing.
The best golf to ever hear anything. Listen to Robin Williams when he does the Scottish accent and the stand-up, one of his last ones, and he talks about playing golf. It is the funniest, the best. You got to check it out.
All right, we got our first in the house, a little super chat. Yeah, baby, a super chat. See, we got the siren going now. We connected the sound off the siren now to the board. So when you send in a super chat like Finn9113 did today on Memorial Day, click it. Yeah. I love it.
Wow.
Recent research has shown
Super chat.
makes no sense.
Yeah, you're getting focused on all the wrong sort of details here. You need to forget about all the normal rules that apply in society.
Wasted no time. Super chat. I thought it was really, 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 really cool.
You should all be very proud of yourself.
I have no response.
Super chat.
That was perfect.
Thank you. Finn9113, thank you for chiming in. Your super chat question says, hey, any thoughts on Gase at it again with Jamal Adams? You know what? Let's do this. I'm going to give you the take on Jamal Adams, but I got to do it on the other side because I want to start off the week on a decent note because I drive Bill crazy going late. You know what I mean? And so, we're already approaching here the half-hour mark on the program, so we figure we'll take a quick break here. I'll give you my thoughts on the Gase Jamal Adams thing, which is just this is pretty simple to break down. We got a lot of things to talk about. Moody's Dental, by the way, proud sponsor of our program. Call them 305-821-0231. Implants, Invisaligns, you name it. You want to straighten out those teeth. If you're in pain right now, folks, let's get you out of pain, okay? So call Moody's Dental right now, 305-821-0231. You got a root canal, you got a cavity, you're in pain. Let's make sure you're, nice and comfortable while you're waiting to get back to your normal life. Call Moody's Dental. Call Eric right now. Tell him that Big O sent you. I promise you they'll take care of you. 305-821-0231. Go to the website, moody'sdental.com.
It's a buyer's market at Toyota of Hollywood. Over 1,500 Toyotas on the ground, and truckloads just keep on coming. Now pay up to 50% less. 2020 Camry, not $29,000, $17,775. 2020 Corolla, not $22,000, $13,775. Buy a new 2020 Toyota with zero down and 0% financing, or we'll make your payments till 2021 at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com, a travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver, you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million, whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
This is the Big O Show. is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
We back. We take you till I have no idea today. I have no idea how long we'll go today, how long we'll be on, but we will be on for a little bit here. We got several things to talk about today on the show. It's funny. I don't know how we do it. I don't know how we come up with all kinds of things to talk about every single day, to be honest with you.
I'll tell you how, because you're certifiable.
Well, I mean, I work hard. I work hard. Trust me, it's working hard, too, at finding all these stories and all the little different things to talk about. So Finn9113 was so kind, chiming in with the super chat and asking us about Jamal Adams. And if you haven't heard yet, and please don't start Dolphins, I doubt Joe Douglas is going to deal with the Dolphins and move Jamal Adams to Miami. Okay, so let's just stop with that. Plus, you would have to give up picks and a huge contract, which just, those kind of things don't make sense. Stupid people do that, okay? And you do that, and you own. I just want, before I start talking about Jamal Adams and Adam Gase and all that, I just want to throw the Dolphin stuff out already so we can kind of, put a kibosh to it, because the only time you would do something incredibly risky and stupid like that is if you were a Jamal Adams away from the Super Bowl. And you say, no, we got to have this guy. We get this guy. That's all we need to complete our team. We're making a Super Bowl run. You can't argue with that one. No one can ever argue with that one. If you're legit, I'm not talking about the Dolphins of like 5, 10, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, that they kept thinking they were one or two players away. And, hey, yeah, we get Ndamukong Suh. He'll change our whole team. That kind of stupid ass crap. Let me just lay that out there for you, okay? So, Jamal Adams, okay, going into his 4th year of his contract now. The Jets, unsurprisingly, picked up his 5th year of his option, right? Now, he is going to be underpaid this year as a 24-year-old safety. The Jets say they want to sign him to a long-term deal, but they haven't done so yet. So now we're going to see what's going to happen if it's, they trade him, if holdout. We don't know what's going to end up happening. Charles Robinson says sticking point on the extension is simple. Guys like Aaron Donald and Khalil Mack played 4 seasons, won the Defensive Player of the Years before their extensions. Jets don't want to do the Adams deal after 3 years for the highest paid safety money he wants in 2021. Could be a different story. The trade preference is the Cowboys, but not the only team he'd play for. There are others, but it's been clear for a while that the Jets, he'd like to be close to his home, which is near Dallas. And this feels a lot, Charles says, like the Earl Thomas Crossroads situation. And so he grew up in that Dallas area. Look, clearly this guy, I'm torn with all of this, because I don't really mind that there's all these problems with the Jets, because it's all Adam Gase. And he doesn't really understand players. And he doesn't really communicate well with them. And once he doesn't want you, it's almost like he discards you. And then it creates a problem for the team. And you're not going to be able to get his value for him. And so then this becomes a problem for you as a team. But this ownership group is so stupid, because look what's gone on with the Le'Veon Bell situation. The GM makes the move for Le'Veon Bell, and Adam Gase does everything in his power to ruin that relationship right from the get-go. And then, shocker, he mishandles how he uses him last year, which we all saw that he mishandles the running game all the time. So it's nothing new that Adam Gase is a complete screw-up. And this should not bring any surprise to you that Adam Gase, in his eyes, probably doesn't think Jamal Anderson is important. Just like those Melly situation last year on the offensive line when Adam Gase was questioning whether that guy was injured or not. And he was clearly injured. And then they had problems with O'Smelly. And now they're having, and then the whole Le'Veon Bell thing. Instead of grabbing Le'Veon Bell and saying, all right, let's work with Le'Veon Bell. Let's get the best out of him, because if you maximize him, then maybe you can move him. And I know it's really difficult in this league because we're watching teams get burned by Todd Gurley, burned by Devonta Freeman, and now burned by Le'Veon Bell. None of these big contracts have worked out. So it's and then Dallas created even more problems in the league by giving Zeke Elliott a contract 2 years early, which has created problems for them now because they've got the Dak Prescott contract. And the Amari Cooper and the Zeke Elliott deals are, they're big deals, and they get in the way. And so this is going to create a lot of problem for them down the line. But whatever. I mean, it is what it is. Jamal Anderson, I don't think any of us, Adams, you should not be surprised that Jamal Adams wants out. It's a dysfunctional place. Adam Gase doesn't get it. He will continue to screw that team over. The worst part about this for us as Dolphin fans is that I would imagine that they will figure it out by the end of this coming season, and they'll fire him next year. Now, I hope they're too stupid to realize that, and I hope somehow or another he lasts another 5 or 10 years there. I personally would love to see Adam Gase in a Jets uniform or coaching the Jets sidelines for the next 30 years. That would be just absolutely orgasmic for me. But they had a good, let me tell you, Joe Douglas had a good offseason. He did a good job as a general manager. Now, he's got a coach that will ruin all relationships. So good luck to you. But, I'm not surprised that Jamal Adams' mess is what it is at this point. I don't think anybody should be surprised that Jamal Adams is pissed off and wants out and wants off a team led by Adam Gase. So there you go. All right, 786-322-1105. If you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, you can reach out to us on Twitter. That's at Big O Show. Reach out to us here on the YouTube chat board, on the Super Chat. It's all there for you. 420 Fuego says, I'm glad someone in South Florida cares enough to give us some local sports talk. Thank you, Big O. Appreciate you, my brother. There isn't a lot of sports talk left. Okay? Even on radio. Real sports talk. I'm just saying. I'm just going to call it like I see it. All right? So let's, you got to, I don't know, you got to preference that statement by saying, be grateful you can get some sports talk still in South Florida. Okay? That's the way it should be phrased. Because there's a few shows out there that really, they're just about clowning around, not really a sports show. You know what I mean? So, if we're going to be honest now, we're going to call it a sports show. You know what I'm saying? Okay? S. Corley says, let's see what the rookie from Texas can bring to the table. I like that kid. I really like the draft. I thought they did an exceptional job in the draft. Clarence Collins says, Big O, you is a legend. Facts. Well, I don't know about that, but I appreciate you, tuning in and watching and giving us some love and support, man. I don't know about any legend crap or anything like that. I'm just a survivor, my brother. That's all.
It's that dig on the age thing. That's all.
Yeah, that too. That's a reminder. Yeah. Big O, do you think Josh Rosen will get the majority of the snaps in the preseason to protect your bridge QB, your future QB, who is the fourth arm in camp? No, I don't. I think you will have to play Fitz a little bit just for continuity purposes, the offensive line, new center, all those kind of things. You'll have to play Fitz a little bit. But, yeah, Rosen will play a lot. Rosen, because there's an opportunity to showcase him. You know what I'm saying? So it's very important. Remember, it's more about showcasing than anything else with Josh Rosen now. Now the job for the Dolphins is to try to build up his value as much as possible to then unload him down the line. Not right away, because I think you want to wait to build up the value. You want to wait to see the progress with Tua, because you control Rosen for another 2 years if you want to. Let's see. Super Boom Shack says Randy Jackson is reuniting with Journey. Yes, he is. We'll get to that story. I have that story also. Take a little trip with me. Says some days I love sports talk. Others I feel like a loser depending on the stories, I guess. Ha ha. What's it called? 9113, Finn 9113 says, great take-o. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. Christopher Phillips, The Clown Show. Well, I mean, there's nothing, no, it's a terrific show, but, it's what it is. It's just clowning around. You know what I mean? And there's nothing wrong with that. Lots of people like that, man. Tons of people like that. Lowrider, nice handles. Lowrider, nice handle. What does that mean? I don't know. Matthew Medina says, I will intern for you for free. I have my bachelor's in communication and want my foot in the door in the sports industry. Matthew, do me a favor. Send me an email, Orlando@BigORadioshow.com. I have an internship for you. Not here, but I have an internship for you. Okay? All right? We're putting something together at Inter Miami. So if you're looking for an internship, send me an email there, and we will talk. I will call you, Matthew Medina. All right, my man? Let's see. FinFan70 says, with Tua's injury history, Dolphins may possibly be hoping Rosen becomes their Nick Foles. Hey, man, the idea is that they went into they created options for themselves, and they did not stay with one quarterback, and they got another, and they stayed aggressive in all of this. And to me, that's the most important part, and why the Dolphins are doing all the right things and why they're headed in the right direction, because of actions like this. That you make the Rosen move last year out of nothing. You get a second rounder, turn it into 2 second rounders, and you used it this year, that second rounder, and the other one you used it to acquire Rosen. And whether it works out or it doesn't, you tried. And now you go for Tua. Whether it works out or it doesn't, you keep going. And that, I think most of us that I've talked to over the years, Dolphin fans, I think most of us love the aggressive approach of go after a quarterback. Keep going after quarterbacks. And eventually you're going to hit on one. But if you never go after a quarterback, then you're never going to hit on one. You know what I mean? So that's what I love about what they did. Whether Rosen turns out to work out as a Nick Foles or not, or he's a bust, or you end up trading him for a first rounder, a second rounder, a fourth rounder, I don't care. You tried. That's all that matters to me. You went and got a guy that was taken top 10 overall, and you gave up a second rounder for him, and you tried. Now you went and got a guy that could have been the number 1 pick in the draft, but because of the hip injury, fell to 5. And now and in a year or two, if that doesn't work out, you go after more quarterbacks. And you keep going, and eventually you will land one. I think if Tua can stay healthy, I'm convinced he can be the guy. Now, he has to stay healthy, ladies and gentlemen. We all know. I'm not breaking any news here. I'm not enlightening any of you out there. You all know what his injury history is. That's the only thing that terrifies me, and that should be the only thing that could make you nervous about Tua. His play, his character, everything else is exceptional. Let's just hope the kid can stay healthy, man. That's all. Big O, do you have a chance to check out 2 guys named Chris Morning Show on Rock 92 app? I have not. I will check it out. I will try. Okay? All right? Ramona K says, so what is your opinion on Fitz or Tua in game 1? Ramona, have you been listening to the show? Did you? I've seen your name on the board often. You should know already. I've repeated this over and 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 over again. Tua shouldn't play till second half of the season until you have an offensive line playing well. Okay? You have to have the offensive line playing well. You have to have the running game productive. If Fitz is running around for his life, it doesn't make any sense to put a rookie in there who doesn't know the game and has to learn the offense, and then he's going to run for his life and bust his hip. Plus, he had surgery in November. you'd like to get closer to November for healing, like a year. So you want to get into that November, December area to play him, but you also hope that the offensive line is in a groove by then. So there's a lot of factors. It's not you can't be Ramona. I'm going to call you Joe Fan. You can't be just Joe Fan and say, yeah, let's just throw him out there. There's a lot of things that come into play. But Joe Fan doesn't think of his hip. Joe Fan doesn't think of the offensive line. Joe Fan doesn't think of chemistry. Joe Fan just thinks of, hey, it's our number one pick and we need a quarterback desperately. Joe Fan doesn't have logic. And Ramona playing Tua in game one, there is no logic. There is no intelligence to it. There is nothing that makes any sense whatsoever that you would play Tua in a shortened offseason with very few practices, that he doesn't know the offense, and the offensive line isn't in a groove. In fact, it's incredibly stupid to play Tua in week one. You can make a little segment out of that one right there. Again, Bill, so we can remind folks how incredibly stupid it is to play Tua in week one. All right, what else do we have here also? Jay Chang says Tua comes in after the bye at New York. It would be even sweeter if fans were there as at the Met. Yeah, you mean the MetLife takeover? That would be awesome. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. That would be amazing. Now, did you see the news over the weekend from Troy Vincent, Bill?
No, I haven't heard anything from him since the talk of the way they were going to do the
all right, so you didn't hear
contract and stuff.
All right, so you didn't hear anything, right? So here we go. So they were asking him about the stadiums, and he goes, we are planning to have full stadiums until the medical community tells us otherwise. That's what Troy Vincent told Brian Mitchell on Friday on the Team 980 in Washington. Now, remember, when we're talking about September, August, September, so there's a lot that can happen here. So we're planning for full stadiums. We also know that we have a plan for half stadiums, 3/4. So we're planning for all of these different scenarios. But first and foremost, we're making every effort, working with the medical community. If we can have those stadiums with all those people until they tell us otherwise, when the time comes, that's our plan. That's our plan of action. So the NFL is set to have full stadiums. That's now, the NFL can say those things. Do you know why? Major League Baseball, Major League Soccer, the NBA, and the NHL will get to make their mistakes, and the NFL will get to piggyback off of those mistakes. So if the MLS or Major League Baseball or NBA screw up and there's all kinds of positives tests and all that, the communities will step in, the cities and the states will step in and put the kibosh on the teams. And the NFL won't be able to, like in California, the NFL can want whatever they want, but in California, they're telling you, nah, it's not going to happen. And in New York, they're going to say, no, it's not going to happen. So the Giants and the Jets, and I don't know if the same problem exists in northern New York where the Bills are at, but the Giants and the Jets probably will not have full stadiums. Now, I know my man NorCal is probably watching, and he's been dead set on going to the stadiums, and but it's just I don't think it's the right idea right now. But the NFL can be that brash right now and can talk loosely like that. You know why? It means nothing. We're in May. It means nothing. Once the NBA comes back in June and July, and the MLS, and they start playing, and we start seeing what goes on. Now, remember, they plan on playing without fans. So they're going to be the first example. Now, the rest of the country is now the other example for the NFL. I don't know if you saw in the Ozarks this weekend that pool scene where everybody is on top of everybody. Let me tell you something. I saw that pool scene. It's in my Twitter feed if you want to go to it at Big O Show. I wouldn't be in that pool pre-COVID. Okay, that pool was disgusting to me pre-COVID. Like, I walk out of my hotel and I see the pool that loaded. I have no interest being in that pool. None whatsoever. That's disgusting to me. That's the kind of pool I used to go to when I was 12 and I didn't know any better, and I'm at the Venetian pool and there's 400 people there, and it is what it is. Now, I don't know if anything can stay alive in that pool because it's like 4 degrees. But seriously, I mean, I saw that, and it's like, and so society now will answer the other half for the NFL. Because if coronavirus cases start going up and death rates start going up, the good thing is the death rate continues to go down, which is freaking awesome, then we're all right. And we've got a control of this. You know what I mean? And the new norm is those of us that we have to kind of take care of each other. We have to watch out for each other. You know what I mean? And you have to be responsible. Yesterday, if you were watching the match, a couple of times, you know, they wanted a high five. Brady wanted a high five Mickelson, and Mickelson kind of held back every time. And Brady would have high-fived him with no problem. But it was Mickelson that pulled back because Mickelson, by the way, has a disorder himself, an immune disorder. So he does not want to catch any COVID or anything else because, as we all know, COVID will kill you off, is what it does. Okay? You may not get sick from it. You might be fine. Some of you could die from it. Those of us that have already pre-existing conditions, that thing finishes you off, is what it does. And a guy like Phil Mickelson, you could tell, was very aware of all of that, and he wanted no part of shaking hands or any of that stuff. Meanwhile, Brady would have done it a couple times. And so the new norm for us is going to be the key, is how we take care of each other, how we protect each other, how we protect ourselves, and hopefully we don't spread this thing. You know what I mean? Because it's still here, and I know we have to move forward, but we're going to have to move forward in a very responsible fashion. And you all know that there's going to be a bunch of people that aren't going to be responsible. And all those people in that pool over the weekend, I don't know if you saw it, that pool was disgusting anyway. Okay, that pool scene was gross. Forget the COVID. It was gross. And if you're dying to be outside that badly, so we're going to see. Two things will answer, and the NFL can be as aggressive as they want because they've got all the guinea pigs. You and I are the guinea pigs for them, for society. So society will dictate whether we can go in those stadiums or not. I mean, Patrick Ewing got it over the weekend. You saw that? The only person in Georgetown that has it. None of his players, nobody else has it. So, prayers, hopefully Pat is fine and he'll be all right. The only thing I thought of when I heard Patrick Ewing got it, I wonder if you're a sweater, it's worse for you to get COVID. Because Pat Ewing can sweat, bro. That makes me a little nervous because I'm a little bit of a sweater myself. I'm just wondering, I felt bad for Pat, man. Prayers. Hopefully he'll be all right when it's all said and done. But yeah, they are planning for full stadiums, they say. Well, half and 3/4 too in the NFL. But again, You can say that all you want, man. You don't have to do anything till September. Because remember, they can go in the preseason with no fans. They don't have to put fans in. They don't have to risk anything in the preseason. They can wait till the regular season to buy themselves, again, more time if they want. But you'll see. We, ladies and gentlemen, will be the ones that set the example for them from here on out. All right, 786-322-1105 if you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line. That's 786-322-1105 if you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line. Can I say one thing that is already pissing me off now when I watch television? All right. Are you ready for me here? I think it's like Allstate or State Farm, whatever, that my man is the save driver, save 40% guy. You know what I'm talking about? And so
the one that was the president in one of those shows.
And 24.
Exactly.
So I just wanna tell the insurance company that has that commercial, okay? Because it's got the geeky guy with the curly hair. Hey, that's the save 40% guy, right? And then the cooks in the back, or hey, that's the save. Okay, look. First of all, that's Pedro Serrano. That will always be Pedro Serrano. Okay? It will always be about Joe Boo. It'll always be about the cigar. It'll always be about the curveball, the off-speed stuff. It'll always be about Major League. So
is it a live chicken or is it a bucket of chicken?
Yes.
Which are you sacrificing?
Yes, and they brought him the KFC bucket. I mean, this whole thing, look, it's a save 40% guy. No, it's not. It's Pedro Serrano. Okay? He will always be Pedro Serrano, not the president in 24, not the save driver, save 40% guy. He will always be Pedro Serrano. Okay? So enough with this crap. When I watch this, and I see this, and it's like, he will never be that guy. Don't you idiots know that that's Pedro Serrano, and don't screw with him, bro. I tell you, bro. Just unacceptable in every level. That's the save 40% guy. The hell out of here with that crap. All right, Toyota of Hollywood, by the way, proud sponsor of our program. We're there every Thursday. We'll be there this Thursday with Steve Ostrov. We'll be out there with Herbie Lopez. We'll be out there with Eddie, with Rick, with Gary Thompson, with Joel Rubio, with so many people out there. #1 volume sales dealership when it comes to Toyota, 6 years in a row in the Southeast United States. And right now, folks, they got some great deals going on, over 1,500 cars and trucks for you to choose from. Tell them that Big O sent you, and I promise you they're going to take care of you, man. Hey, listen, they'll even make your payments till 2021. I mean, they'll make your payments, they'll give you a payment break for 90 days here during 2020. And that's why you got to take advantage, folks. So get on down there to 1841 North State Road 7, and whether you're buying or leasing, you're going to get 90 days no payments here in 2020. It gives you a nice opportunity of transition during this tough time. So if your car's breaking down, you need to buy or lease a new vehicle, get on down to 1841 North State Road 7. Tell them that Big O sent you, and trust me, they will take care of you at Toyota of Hollywood.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com, a travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver, you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million, whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
This is the Big O Show. 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 This is the Big O Show.
All right, we back. We grind. Hour number 2 of the program. Hope you guys are all doing well out there. Hope you're enjoying yourselves and you're having a nice, safe Memorial Day weekend. If you want to get in on the program, it's really simple. 786-322-1105. That's 786-322-1105. And by the way, that gentleman that sent me earlier said he sent me something. I have not seen anything. I have no idea. I didn't see anything on the text line. I didn't see anything. Although on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, good morning, Thomas OKC. Happy holidays. Thank you, Thomas. Appreciate you chiming in. This is from Joan. Big O, you do an amazing job. I love what the front office has done. Can't wait for the season. What do you think about Tua video working out? It's great. It's fantastic. But, we just got to get him on the field and see him play and keep him healthy, and hopefully he can have a hell of a season. That's it. That's all we can do right now. But, I mean, outside of that, the good thing is he's making progress and he's staying healthy. I don't know what more I can make out of those videos. You know what I mean? I got to get him out there on the field. Oh, if Brady was playing at Pebble Beach in the Pro-Am, he would have missed the cut. And as far as Tua, I would not rush to start him this year till the second half of the season. Yeah, I mean, you got to wait. You got to give it some time. You know what I mean? Did you guys see in college football, we talk about the NFL and college football, Michigan made one hell of a statement this weekend. I don't know if you guys saw this, but president said if there's no on-campus instruction, then there won't be any intercollegiate athletics, at least for Michigan. He has some degree of doubt as to whether there will be college athletics at all in the fall. So the president of the University of Michigan, Mark, I think it's called Schlissel, I think is how it's pronounced. He's pretty much saying, yeah, we're not going to have football here. If students aren't on campus, we're not doing it. And the SEC has kind of opened it up for their schools. Now it's up to the schools to do it. So it's going to be up to the states to allow it, kind of like what's going on with the NFL. And again, colleges can also show a little patience because we've got a few months left till we get to that point. The problem is you've got to get them out on the field. You've got to get them to practice. You got to get them in shape because you just can't start a season. That's a little crazy to just start a season out of the blue like that. You're going to have to get, a training camp going and all of that. And that also may stir up positive tests in the process. I mean, there's so much unknown here. But again, this is where it's going to be interesting to see how the MLS and Major League Baseball and the NHL and the NBA handle all of this. It's going to be so important that they have success in order for us to have a chance for college football And we'll get the NFL because they're the pros. But college football, they've got to be careful, man. They've got to be careful. And look, we already know that we don't even look at these guys as student athletes, as it is. So think about this. If we don't look at them as student athletes, right, how's it going to look if the students aren't on campus and then you're just playing and you're playing the games? Then they're just going to look like semi-pro teams because they're not there to get an education. And in the end, we all know that they're really not there to get an education as it is. A lot of those guys. A lot of those guys are just there because it's a stepping stone, because they don't have a minor league system. And who knows, maybe that's what this is going to lead to, although I doubt the NFL wants those expenditures when it's all said and done. Man, that's some funky stuff right there. And for Michigan to come out and pretty much say, nah, if we don't have the students, we don't have the game, because last week a lot of people are thinking, okay, we're going to get college football back. Yeah, well, and what do you do if some schools are playing and some aren't? How the hell do you get away with that? How does this – now, you want an asterisk? There's an asterisk right there. And it'll be interesting to see, because of the politics that we've gotten this thing involved in, will some schools, because of their political alliance, may be willing to sacrifice people, and some may be willing to take a more conservative approach to protect people, because that's kind of what's gone on. You got the group that's willing to take chances and say, all right, forget it. Screw humanity. We got to take our chances. We can't. And look, it's hard to argue with some of that thinking. Man, people are losing their businesses and their lives. And, there were a lot of people that were just fine before this whole thing. And then all of a sudden this thing hit, and everybody's got to get away from their jobs for a while, and it crushes you. And now there's lots of people that will not have a job to go back to. And let's not kid ourselves, okay? All the jobs will not be there when we get back. This will also allow a lot of employers to find ways to streamline and because so many people will be out of work, they will give jobs to other people, and they will be overworked and underpaid. And those people will be happy to be overworked and underpaid because they have a job. And they were without a job for the last couple of months. So this desperation will be turned on millions of Americans. Okay? Let's not kid ourselves. Let's not make it sound like more jobs are going to come back after this. That's going to take years and years for it to develop again. So many people have lost so much that these employers, they're not going to go back to hiring the same amount of people that they had. It's not going to happen. A lot of people. I mean, this is going to screw people over in layers and for years to come. And it's set so many people back. Now, we had no choice, because if not, the amount of people that would have been dying would have been ridiculous. But the question is, have we waited long enough? And then there's a part of us that we can't wait any longer. So that's why our new norm has to be one where we're really responsible, man. Okay? Once again, I went to go pick up some. Even if we get to the point that you don't have to use a mask, I may still use a mask. Just for the hell of it. It doesn't hurt, right? It can only help you. So that'll be interesting to see. Again, this is why football can talk a good game right now, because they don't have to take the field. They're not in a hurry. Whereas all these other leagues were already either finishing up their seasons or they were about to start them. Okay? Baseball was about to start, and MLS was just in the first couple of weeks of their season. So all those other leagues are in completely different situations. All right, 786-322-1105. If you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, that's 786-322-1105. 11:05. Rich Rodriguez says, you don't have to be on campus to take classes. There are online classes. Michigan is making a mistake. Why? Why? Because you say so? You're the medical expert, Richard? They're making a mistake? I love how you're the expert and they're not. Okay. All right. You go ahead and listen to the dude at the top that keeps giving you all the misinformation every single day. This pandemic shows how many of us live check to check. Yeah. Most of us live check to check. Okay? I don't think that's breaking news. I don't think I looked at any of my friends like, yeah, those guys got millions in the bank. I think most of us, it's check to check, month to month, man. You know? Billy Batson says, just lock us down permanently. Let's get this new order over with already. Sports is done. Everything is done. Thanks, Bill Gates. The NBA saying they will come back in late July is way too late. All they will have time for is a streamlined playoffs. Hey, man, they don't care. As long as they can get something in to get the rest of the TV money. You know what I mean? So that's what these leagues are trying to do. The NBA just wants to finish out their season. Maybe they play a short set of games, maybe 4, 5, 6, 7 games, and then they start the playoffs, or they go – the thing is, man, if you go from training camp to playoffs, that's – wow. That's like going from first gear to fourth. And that's really, really difficult to do, man. It's going to be a bit of a challenge. And you have to watch out. Where you have to watch out with all of this is if you hurry them back too soon and their bodies aren't ready, and then you suffer season-ending injuries, they will now linger into next season. So now you will lose them for the 2021 season also. Because think about it. We're already in May. So if you don't start playing till July and somebody blows their knee in August or September, they're done till next year. And they're going to miss the entire upcoming season. So you have to be very careful on how you bring these guys back. The NHL has to do the same thing. They have to be very, very careful. And congratulations to Dale Talon. The one way his teams can actually make the playoffs is by having a 24-team, playoff set. I was thinking about this. So does Dale Talon get credit this year for his team making the playoffs for the third time in 10 years? Because the NHL has expanded it to 24 teams. That's the only reason they're making it. So does Dale Talon get credit for 3 trips to the playoffs in 10 years? Do we go 2.5 or do we go none? Where it's still 2 and this one doesn't count. I'm kind of at the point that this one doesn't count. Because you wouldn't have made the regular playoffs anyway.
You modified the end. This is not
right, it doesn't count.
Sorry.
It doesn't count. So Dale Talon has made the playoffs twice in 10 years. Think about that, man. The only way the Panthers can make the playoffs under Dale Talon right now is if they expand the playoffs to include 24 out of 31 teams. So they're going to leave 7 teams out in order for the Panthers to make the playoffs. It's pretty embarrassing stuff for Dale Talon. I'm sorry. I look at that and, wow, 24 teams. Third trip in 10 years.
At that point, why bother leaving anybody out? I mean, you know what I mean? It's like it's.
Yeah. No, you're right. I get it. And think about this. The Dolphins kept Ryan Tannehill around for 7 years and accomplished nothing. And now the Panthers have kept Dale Talon around for 10. Will probably, like I told you, keep him around an 11th year because of all the money that everybody's lost. And it's a shortened offseason and everything else, so it becomes a pain in the ass to make a change now. So I wouldn't be surprised if they're stuck with him for one more year. So that'll be 11 years to accomplish nothing. That's pretty tough, man. That's got to be tough on Viola and Sifu. Those guys have got to be frustrated right now. And there's a part of me that says, you know what, maybe they weren't off years ago when they were taking the power away from Dale Talon. That they were actually right. It didn't work out the way they had it set up, and Tom Rowe wasn't the guy and all that. But they actually had the right idea. Dale Talon the power should have been taken away from him. The fact that they gave it back to him, that ends up becoming a mistake in hindsight. And listen, it's a mistake we're all going to make because we saw what he did in Chicago. We thought, okay, he's a really, really good GM, and he had a really good run there, but he has not been that here. But I just find it kind of interesting that it takes a 24-team playoff in order for Dale Talon's team to make it. Pretty amazing. 786-322-1105 if you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line. That's 786-322-1105 if you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line. You can also reach out to us on Twitter. That's at Big O Show. Follow us there as always because that is a 24-hour talk show there on Twitter. Leon says, Talon will get credit if the team makes the conference finals. Leon, thanks for the joke, bro. I appreciate that. A team that can't make the playoffs, but they're going to make the Eastern Conference Finals. Yeah. Let me hold my breath that the Panthers will make the Eastern Conference Finals, so I can actually thank Dale Talon. Yeah, that would definitely put me over the top right there. That would force me to say, hey, I'm wrong about Dale Talon. He's pretty good.
Yeah, but no, you can't. Remember, man, there's been 8 seeds that have made the finals. The hockey is the one sport that you kind of throw the records out, and like the 8th seed can go all the way to the Stanley Cup.
No, I know.
It's happened.
Hey, that's right.
So, right. Screwier things have happened.
Yeah, no, you're right.
It doesn't mean the Talon's improved.
Huh. God. Dale Talon, dude. It really is amazing. I got to tell you, that is one trippy thing. Metallica Monday, remember, all right? And today they are live from Lima, March 20th, 2014. The audience, by the way, voted for this one, so apparently it's a pretty special show for Metallica fans, live from Lima. I don't know. I told you guys about the Foo Fighters concert on Friday. I hope you watched it. It is freaking awesome. Foo Fighters at Wembley Stadium. There's like 80,000 fans there. It's the biggest concert in Foo Fighters history up until that point. At least that's what Dave Grohl says in the concert. And it's a 2-hour concert pretty much. At the end of the show, the second and third to last songs of the set are 2 Led Zeppelin songs, and Jimmy Page and John Paul Jones come out on stage and jam 2 songs with the boys. Awesome. Okay? And I thought it was really cool, by the way, that the drummer ends up singing Rock and Roll, and then he goes back to the drum set because Grohl played the drums for that song. And then when they do the second Zepp song, Grohl sings and the drummer goes back to the set. So that was because the drummer does sing. So it was actually really cool. I thought it ended up becoming an even cooler thing by doing it that way for both guys, actually, because they both get to sing while Jimmy Page and John Paul Jones are jamming. You know what I mean? So I thought it was if you get an opportunity, go check out the concert, man. You are going to freaking love it, okay? I'm going to watch that Metallica concert tonight. I watched the Police concert over the weekend from 1982. I forgot where they were. The video was awesome, and the audio was excellent Because you can find a lot of them where the audio's good, but the video's like really, really bad. But it was so good, man. I think since I can't go to concerts, right? It's like I find myself watching a concert or two a day. Every day I find some kind of band or something and some concerts or something like that. But if you get the opportunity today, you go to Metallica's channel and you can watch the Metallica show. If you like the Foo Fighters, I don't know if it's still there. I can look it up for you guys and see if it's still there. If it is, I'm telling you, you need to watch that Foo Fighters concert because it is a really, really good show. You see? Yeah, it's still there. The Wembley show is still there. Okay? I don't know when I know they're going to pull it soon. So it may be today because I think it was going to be up for a week, and today makes it a week. So if you get a chance, go to their YouTube page. And I love, by the way, for a guy like me that loves music, I absolutely enjoy that a lot of these bands are so active on social media, and they're giving us a little taste of the music that we're missing live. So I thought that's actually pretty cool. All right, 786-322-1105. If you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, you can also reach out to me on Twitter. That's at Big O Show. Follow us there as always. I do want to ask you something out there for those of you that are Major League Baseball. Okay, they have a shortened season, 80 games, 100, whatever. Basketball's done it where they've had 50, 55 games, whatever, 60 games. I don't have a problem if somebody wins the World Series. I don't want to put an asterisk on them winning it. But I was thinking about this. You do have to have an asterisk on this baseball season, Bill. You do.
Why?
Somebody hits 407 in 80 games. They don't belong in the same sentence with Ted Williams.
Okay, you know what? The individual statistics.
Isn't that true?
Yes. Individual statistics.
Some guy comes up with a 0.5 ERA.
You're not. No.
I can't put you don't.
You're not
own,
Josh. You're not Gibson. Sorry.
You cannot own the ERA record. And so I don't look shortened seasons. I don't have a problem. I don't put an asterisk on the championship. Everybody has to play the same season. It's all even. But accomplishments, especially in baseball, okay? In a shortened season, it's really hard in other sports to really accomplish many records. But in baseball, because of percentages and all things like that, that could really, ERAs and all that, that's not determined by the amount of games you played. You know what I mean? And so if somebody goes out there and hits 415 in 80 games, I'm sorry. You're not in George Brett's category. Okay? You're certainly not in Ted Williams' category. And I mean George Brett because he didn't hit 400, right? Didn't he hit 398 or 396?
There's another guy that was always up there, Rod Carew.
Right, Rod Carew. Oh, yeah, Rod Carew was God, bro. He was so awesome. And so that's the one thing that I was thinking about with baseball that stood out to me, that in these shortened seasons that we're going to have, I'm not the guy that's going to be a sourpuss and say, oh, you won it. Nobody remembers about San Antonio's 5 titles, and they say, well, one of them was on a shortened season. Nobody remembers that. Nobody cares. Okay, they won 4 other titles. So they've won 5 titles. I never look at it like they won 4, but the other one's kind of questionable. I never do that. That's ridiculous. That's insulting. But in baseball, that's the one thing that I was thinking of. That if somebody goes out there and has an incredible ERA and it's sick, but you only played half a season, I can't give you the same kind of credit. And that's where the asterisk needs to be placed in baseball, if it happens, okay? And it is possible that in 80 games, somebody has an incredible ERA. It's possible. It's very possible. Okay? I I thought about that and I said, that's where the asterisk in baseball has to happen this season. That's where we've got to be extra critical of the baseball season. And I would hope that the statisticians, I would hope that baseball also does the same thing and puts an asterisk next to any of these kind of records that are broken in this kind of a season where it's not nearly as challenging as it should be. Do want to remind you, by the way, that Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines is the finest Acura dealership on the planet. They've been a proud sponsor of our show 10 years now. It's a decade that we've been together. And let me tell you right now, folks, the ILX 239, the RDX 379, the MDX 409, only $29.99 do it signing plus tax tag and registration, folks. And don't forget that you can also get $750 off if you're a first responder. On Memorial Day, those of you serving our military, they've been doing it now for the last couple of weeks, but if you're a military veteran or you're currently in the military, $750 off. If you're a graduate, all right, $500 off, folks. So get on down to 15601 Pines Boulevard, just off of I-75 in Pines. Go see my guy, Larry Schlossberg and company out there. Tell them that I told you to get on out there. They will definitely take care of you folks here on Memorial Day. They are ready and willing to make you a great deal, and they're going to give you 90 days, no payments. Just like they do at Toyota of Hollywood, man. Any Craig Zinn dealership right now giving you 90 days, no payments, whether you're buying or leasing a vehicle. Because of the tough times, they're going to give you some time here for transition. So check it out. 15601 Pines Boulevard, just off of I-75 in Pines. Finest dealership in the business, baby. It is Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver, you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million, whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
It's a buyer's market at Toyota of Hollywood. Over 1,500 Toyotas on the ground, and truckloads just keep on coming. Now pay up to 50% less. 2020 Camry, not $29,000, $17,775. 2020 Corolla, not $22,000, $13,775. Buy a new 2020 Toyota with 0 down and 0% financing, or we'll make your payments till 2021 at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com, a travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
This is the Big O Show. 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 This is the Big O Show.
All right, we back. Let's check out the chat board here. What we got here on the chat board? Let's see if you got any questions you want to ask here. Let's see what we got. Pats are interested in Rosen. Adam Schefter leaked it right there for you. I see it happen. Pats could be interested in him, but they're not trading him right now, and I doubt they're going to trade him within the division. And I doubt the Patriots, all they're doing is they're looking for something called Mango Bajito, and that's probably what they're doing. Hey, yeah, we'll give you a 6-rounder for him. And they're like, nah, we could use him as a backup. We don't need the 6-rounder. Screw you. So I don't think they're going to trade him like right now. Again, build value. You know, if you want to get rid of Rosen right now, and if you want to play Tua in the first week, you don't understand football. Just let me put that out there for you, okay? Just let me just put that out there for you, all right? You don't trade your backup quarterback when your other guy's injured. Just doesn't make any sense. I'm not sure why people are in such a hurry. There is no hurry in this process. And that's what I like about Flores and Greer. They're not really in a hurry. Let's see. Big O will get Talon the next day if they reach the Eastern Conference Finals. Yep, exactly. We'll get him on the air and we'll congratulate him, and I'll apologize. Say, yo, Dale, I've been ripping you for a while now because you suck. Do you think Slash is a top 5 guitarist of all time? Saw his jam with B.B. King on YouTube. He was awesome. Richard, let me tell you something. Slash is one of the great guitarists of all time. I don't put him in my top 5, but here's where it becomes subjective, my man. If somebody wants to put him in his top 5 or her top 5, I got no problem with that. It may not be my top 5, but the guy is, look, man, when we're talking about the 20 greatest guitarists of all time, let's say, and if you want to put Slash in there, we're splitting hairs. The guy that wants to put Albert King in the top 5, or he wants to put him in the top 15, we can argue all day about it, whether he belongs there or he doesn't. But he's one of the greatest. And whether it's Slowhand or Jimi Hendrix or whoever, or Eddie Van Halen, you name it, or Joe Satriani, bro. You know what I mean? If somebody, what's it called? I'm brain farting and I'm seeing his face in front of me. The blues guitarist, rock guitarist,
Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Stevie Ray Vaughan may not be in a lot of people's top 5s. He might be a top 10. But it's one of those arguments that we're killing ourselves over it.
Nobody can make that guitar be like a vocal, man.
Yeah, but it
makes it sing.
Yeah, and so does Stevie Vai. I mean, it's just we're kind of, it's one of those arguments that will never end. You know what I'm saying? So Slash has done enough that he easily could be a top 5, top 10, top 25 guitarist of all time. But it's a discussion that we're going to go back and forth forever on. And no one's really going to win because you're going to make all kinds of great arguments for all kinds of great guitarists. And Slash is one of them. So that's where I would tell you, it's not for me to fence straddle. Would he be my top 5? Probably not. He'd probably be outside of my top 5. But I'm not going to say to somebody, well, Slash is one of the 5 greatest. All right, good. All right, dude. I got no problem with that. As long as you're not telling me Tiny Tim is one of the greatest of all time, then we're good. That's all. You know? No problem. I like, what's it called? I like, you know what? I like Johnny Marr. I think he's a phenomenal guitarist that a lot of people won't give him credit. You know what I mean? Edge is a guy that nobody ever puts in the top. But to me, the sounds that Edge gets from his guitar over the years from the different U2 albums, I think he's a genius. I really do. Now, he'll never be in anybody's top 20. Ever. Nobody, pretty much. When you mention top 20 guitarists, they're not going to put the Edge in there. And yet, I think he's one of the greatest guitarists of all time. Not top five, not top 10 or whatever, but if we start talking about 50 greatest guitarists of all time in music, I would put the Edge there. Because it's not so much that he is Yngwie Malmsteen. Okay? All right? I know he's not Yngwie Malmsteen. I get it. All right? No problem with that. Michael Schenker. I get he's not Michael Schenker. He's a different kind of guitarist. But his creativeness is his greatness. Okay? And how he makes that guitar sound.
Super diverse, man.
Yeah, man.
Lots of different songs.
Yeah.
It's just
the
realm. Yeah.
It's a very subjective conversation, in other words. Okay? That's what I would tell you about, Slash or a lot of great guitarists.
A lot of that is personal opinion.
Yeah.
And personal likes.
Yeah. Yeah. Police picnic concerts all over North America in 82 with Flock of Seagulls warm up. Saw them at Old Jarrett Park, Expo's first stadium in Montreal. I got to tell you, David, I saw that one of those concerts in 82 yesterday, and it was magical, bro. It was a magical concert. Big O, who's your favorite vocalist? Mine is Chris Cornell. Wow, that's so difficult to nail down because I think it's, Bono's one of my favorite vocalists of all, maybe my favorite vocalist of all time. But I love Rob Halford and Bruce Dickinson. I mean, it's just it's really hard to just nail down one voice, man. Big O, you're exactly correct. Never play a shortened season and compare stats. Those go for a career, maybe, but a single season is disrespectful for those that played full seasons. Yeah, baseball needs that asterisk there. Let's see what else. Richard says, did the scab games count in 82 NFL season? Yes, they did count. Yeah, they did count. And again, I don't hold it against Washington for winning it. And if our Dolphins would have won it, I wouldn't have held it against the Dolphins. So to me, everybody played the same season. They all had scabs. They all had to go through it. And the team that handled your season and your scabs better, you won. And Washington and Miami handled their scabs and their regular season better than everybody else. Super Boom Shack says Izzy Stradlin is as good as Slash. There you go. You see? Could be subjective like that. All right? Big O, do you see Malcolm Perry as Coach Flores' Jim Jensen? I don't know, my man. That's a great question. Although I think Malcolm Perry will be more diverse than Jim Jensen was, is what I think. But I don't even know if he can play at this level. Let's find out first. Leon Fresco says Gary Clark Jr. is working his way up the list. Yes, he is. He's working against the counter current that this is the type of music that is not popular now. Yeah, but that doesn't matter. Those of us that know music and know artists, we know Gary Clark. Okay? Those of us that know, put it this way. Let me put it the right way. Those of us that know real music, we know Gary Clark. Okay? These freaking Generation Zs and millennials that are just listening to Y100 and, and all that little pop crap that they got going on, they wouldn't know Gary Clark Jr., from a Clark bar. You know what I'm saying? So that don't worry about it. Those of us that really know music, we know what Gary Clark is. We know the kind of bad freaking ass that Gary Clark is. Okay? My husband agrees about Johnny Marr being a great guitarist, as I do. That's what Diane Mayer says. Johnny Marr is amazing. Awesome. And yet, if you have those kind of conversations, Johnny Marr will never come up. Never. Just like the Edge. They never come up. They don't, because it's almost like you have to have, the fingers flying through the frets every single time to be considered a great guitarist. And that's just ridiculous. Because if you listen to George Benson, if you don't know guitarists, most people, you tell them, hey, give me your top 20, and they'll never mention George Benson. And George Benson is a beast and a half of a guitarist. Not a beast. He's a beast and a half of a guitarist. And nobody will mention George Benson. Different kind of music. George Benson. Huh? You'll throw people off completely. Those that know music and follow musicians, not just, oh, I'm Broadway. Oh, yeah, that's all I know. If you follow music, then you'll know George Benson is a bad man in every way, shape, and form. You know what I'm saying? But that, again, has to be music. And you got to know music to know that Johnny Marr is a badass. Forget not understanding football. Don't understand negotiations and leverage. Yeah, that too. Very good point, Adrian. Big O, I know you've been to a lot of concerts, but is there one band that you never got to see live? Who would it be? Oh, Led Zeppelin, bro. Led Zeppelin. Yeah, I mean, I saw Planet Page together, but I've never seen Led Zeppelin. I would love that. I mean, there's several. The Beatles, obviously, with John Lennon dying, getting killed, that ruined it. The Cars, never saw the Cars, never saw In Excess. So pissed. I know he's also super pissed about that, right? You're pissed you never saw an In Excess either, right? Like me.
Oh man,
right? He's just he might be a bigger In Excess fan than I am. Might be. But
that morning,
I know he and I are monster In Excess fans. So yeah, there's a few of them.
That morning, man, when they announced his death, I'm leaving. That's when I was living on the beach. I'm driving across the bridge to go down to Biscayne Boulevard.
Sure.
I'm working the Norway, Port of Miami.
Sure.
Literally had to pull off the side of the road because I was so mad because knowing I will never see this guy in concert.
Yep.
How does this happen to me?
And by the way, I've seen like 3 In Excess concerts in the last month.
They had the one on Fuse.
No, but
I caught that.
YouTube's got a bunch of them.
Yeah.
You could just go to YouTube, bro, and you're in heaven.
They're awesome that way.
They're so – because live, Michael Hutchence is like the record. His voice is golden, bro. I mean, Bono's voice is gold, and Bono used to freak out on his voice because that was one of his best friends. Let's see, what else do we have here? Special Needs Guru says, Big O, Finns can trade Rosen for a first-rounder, and what do you think of rocker Carlos Santana, by the way? Your producer should have worked with you as your sidekick back in the days as producer. Yes, and we would have gotten him a season by then at this point. It would be nice. Yes, I'm a Santana fan, bro. Santana, again, talk about one of the greatest guitarists of all time. Santana's one of the greatest guitarists of all time. Okay? And part of being a great guitarist, in my eyes, too, is also having something that sets you apart from everybody else. A distinctive style, sound, or something that you establish. And Santana's one of those guys that his sound, his guitar, you know it right away.
Oh, as soon as you hear it, right out the block.
You know it's him. Signature.
You know what?
Boom.
Eddie.
Same thing.
Eddie has a distinct, and you know that's Eddie, man.
Right away. You know it's Eddie Van Halen. It's a sound, and I think that's also part of greatness. The Edge, also. You know the Edge's guitar, because no one sounds like the Edge. No one. Diane Mayer says, we agree the 80s is the best decade for music, and 1985 is the best. I guess she was talking with somebody else there. Bill Duffy from The Cult is never mentioned. Bill Duffy is amazing. I wouldn't argue with that. Bill Duffy's fantastic. Glenn Campbell was one of the Wrecking Crew, greatest assembly of studio musicians back in the 60s. Yeah, man. There's a lot of great ones, man. There's a lot of great ones, you know? John Mayall is a guy that is a godfather to so many. So, yeah, there's when it comes to music, we could just go on and on and on and on and talk about so many different artists. It's not even funny. Oh, I agree with you on the O-line and the Tua point. What can you tell about the O-line coach in charge of teaching the new muscle on the O-line? My man, it's all we're going to find out. We're going to find out. That's all. We just got to see what they can do. I never saw GNR. F you, Axel. Well, NorCal, you should go see GNR, even though you hate him. Michael Hutchins should have had a wingman, bro. Yeah, Michael Hutchins was a guy that suffered a lot, my man.
You know what?
That's the sad part.
In relation to NorCal, last night watching a little bit of the breakup of the band on Reels, and GNR is one of the ones on it.
Oh yeah.
And all the times that Axel didn't give a crap, I can kind of understand where NorCal's coming from.
I get that.
He's
a jerk. Yeah.
He didn't give a crap about anybody but himself.
Yeah, but that happens.
Not the band, not the fans, not nobody. Me.
And he's not the first to make that mistake and take things for granted. And we all do it in life.
Yeah, but when you're opening up for the Stones at L.A. Coliseum and they got to get the police handcuff you to bring you to the stage.
Dude, Oasis used to say they're better than the Beatles, bro.
Well, yes, they did.
And talk about two guys that didn't care. And now we had the Black Crowes, and then those guys too. Bro, this is endless in music. Guys that acted like asses and didn't appreciate anything that they had, and then they ruin it all and all that stuff.
Kevin DeBro, Quiet Riot.
Yeah,
Some of the statements that came out of his mouth.
That guy was a complete ass, and he burned himself, and then he hated it, and he paid the price. NorCal says the Cult is still playing live. Well, not these days, but great band. Yeah, they are. Well, not these days. Oh, I see what you're saying. The pandemic, yes. Yeah, and they still sound great. I saw the Cult open up for GNR in Orlando, and they were fantastic. I saw the Cult a couple years back. It was really cool at Revolution Live here in Fort Lauderdale, which is a tiny place. It was like maybe, I don't know, about 6-7 years ago, I think by now, because time flies always. I always think it's always a couple of years ago, and it was probably like 6 or 7 years ago now. And I saw him there, man, and it's so cool to see him with 250 people packed in. That was pretty awesome. I love the Cult.
Very diverse night that night.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we saw
Atlanta
Rhythm Section.
Atlanta Rhythm Section.
Yeah, well, what's left of them? What's left of them? But yeah, what's left of that Atlanta Rhythm Section? We saw that night, and then we went over and saw the Cult over at Revolution Live. Two concerts in two different venues in one night, which is always a beautiful thing. All right, 786-322-1105. If you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, that's 786-322-1105. If you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, you can also reach out to me on Twitter. That's at Big O Show. You can reach out on the YouTube chat board on the Super Chat. Eric from New Jersey says, it looks like our Dolphins, and I see no glaring holes, tons of depth for the first time in forever. Well, first of all, there's a lot of things that are unproven, my man. Okay, they got a whole bunch of players first have to prove themselves to prove that you have depth. Okay, I like a lot of what they did, don't get me wrong now, but it's still unproven. You know what I mean? So I understand what you're hoping develops, and I'm hoping for the same thing, but I can't just say right away that there's tons of depth already and there's no holes. You know what I'm saying? Let's give it some time here. I love the direction they're going in, but I don't want to put the cart before the horse right now. Working out, watching the Big O live. Thank you. I appreciate that. I don't know how you're maintaining your breakfast in while you're watching me, but kudos to you. If Dan can, we can, Tommy in Hialeah says. Okay? I don't know why he's saying that, but Seth Rogen undercover. Okay, Tommy, you're all over the place, my man. I don't know what that means. Come on, Tiny Tim does shred and tiptoes through the tulips. Big O, do you see the Bucks re-signing Giannis? Well, yeah, they want to, of course. I mean, do I hope they don't? Yeah, no, I hope I hope they have like a disastrous playoff run. I hope the offseason's terrible. I hope he gets in a fight with his coach. And I hope he wants out, and then that way Miami can try and acquire him. Yes, but I would imagine that they're going to want to sign him. You know what I'm saying? We just got to hope for a terrible playoff run for him this year, because he's got to have that sour taste in his mouth all year long, and then maybe another disappointing season next year, and then he wants the hell out. And he's like, yeah, now this is Milwaukee. Now it's cold, and all they got is beer and brats. I'm headed down to South Beach. That kind of stuff. That's what we got to hope for. Maybe we'll get a break in that direction.
Tiny Tim, the originator of the little guitar?
Yes.
That Eddie followed?
Tiptoe through the tulips. Yes. Definitely. Definitely. No doubt about that. Tiptoeing through them tulips, man. All right, what else do we have going on in the world of deportes? You saw Eli Manning. Eli Manning and Bill have the same thing in common. Neither guy is ever been active on Twitter. In fact, he just opened a Twitter account, about a year ago, 9 months ago, whatever. And I think he last tweeted like 80 days ago or something. So he barely is on social media. And he's in our business, right? So, which is really weird. Now, Eli Manning was a guy that was never on Twitter. He's not a social media guy. But Eli now is retired. And like Tom Brady, who's gotten away from Belichick, Tom Brady now is breaking into homes, breaking into parks. He's, on the Howard Stern show. He's doing all kinds of crazy stuff that he would have never done with Belichick. He's doing a 9-part series, all that. So Eli now has retired. He's got a new life now. So I think they might have told him, Eli, in order to make more money, we need you to get on social media. So Eli is now on Twitter at Eli Manning. To paraphrase Jimmy Chitwood, I don't know if I'll make any change, but I figure it's time for me to start playing social media. So Eli Manning announced that he is now on social media. So Tom Brady sees that Eli Manning's on social media, so he fires back. He goes, welcome at Eli Manning. In typical fashion, you never showed up until the fourth quarter anyway. That was nice by Tom. I like that. That was because obviously Eli. Hey, say what you want about Eli. I know his record is up and down, and he had some bad years and some good years, and the end was kind of he had a bunch of interceptions and stuff like that. But that sumbitch was as clutch as it gets in 2 Super Bowls. Okay, he made some of the biggest throws in the history of that game. Money-ass throws. And you can tell me all you want about Tyree and it's sticking to his helmet, but that's where he put it there. So that's called accuracy. And the one he threw to Manning on the sidelines, that is one of the great throws of all time in a Super Bowl in an important moment. So I can never take away from people who are clutch. And it's not just one time. He then did a second time, and he did it in the 2 biggest games of his life. And so that's where I always will give him love. So Eli, by the way, fires back at Tom Brady and says, hope your golf game is as polished as your Twitter game. Don't hit it in the lumberyard. So there you go. So Eli already loading back up again on social media and firing away, which I thought that was actually pretty cool. That Eli would get on social media, and that Tom Brady obviously, had some fun with it in the process. So good stuff there. Eli Manning is on Twitter. Let's do this. Before we do anything else, let me tell you about EJD Construction. Eric is one of those guys that, let me tell you something, folks. I'm not talking about a handyman. I'm talking about custom home construction, major home remodeling. You need to extend that home. The family's growing. Maybe, financial issues. More people had to move into one house, and you got to expand that house. Call EJD Construction, 305-318-4978. Save it on that cell phone. Make sure you tell them that I sent you. You want to improve that man cave. This year you might be using it more because maybe you're not going out as much. Well, call EJD Construction. Maybe because you're going to be home more watching sports and you're going to have people over, you want to improve that kitchen. For you, for that special someone that lives with you that works really hard in that kitchen, you want to modernize it, call EJD Construction. 305-318-4978. They are COVID ready. They use gloves and masks, and they use all other OSHA requirements, and they arrive on their sales appointments with the masks and the gloves. And first responders, you're going to get developer rates. So call Eric right now. Make sure you tell him that Big O sent you. 305-318-4978. That's 305-318-4978 for EJD Construction. When we come back, we're going to start off hour number 3, and we're going to talk. Mike Tyson is getting back into the ring. Okay, we've been talking about the exhibition, but somebody has been offered an exhibition to fight Mike Tyson. It's pretty interesting. That's next.
It's a buyer's market at Toyota of Hollywood. Over 1,500 Toyotas on the ground, and truckloads just keep on coming. Now pay up to 50% less. 2020 Camry, not $29,000, $17,775. 2020 Corolla, not $22,000, $13,775. Buy a new 2020 Toyota with 0 down and 0% financing, or we'll make your payments till 2021 at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com, a travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver, you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million, whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
We back. All right, we're ready to start off hour number 3 on the program. I can't believe we're already into hour number 3. This is really wow. Is it just me? These 2 hours went by really, really fast, right?
They have.
Did you guys
sailing along?
Are you guys there on the chat board the same thing? Because it just seems like I don't know how I've done 2 hours of talk already, which is kind of weird that it's gone on like that. Mike Tyson, by the way, is back in the ring. He was, at least for WWE purposes, he was with the wrestling stars. Iron Mike was supposed to do honors at AEW Double or Nothing pay-per-view by handing the winners of the title match a championship belt. He ended up doing a lot more, the article says. The match, Cody with Arn Anderson by his aide and Lance Archer with Jake the Snake Roberts, was back and forth. At one point, Arn and Jake were hurled out of the ring, and Jake was trying to make his way back inside with one of the bags containing a snake. So obviously Tyson involved with all of this, and we all know that Tyson, and people have been talking about Tyson and Holyfield possibly fighting each other for an exhibition match. And look, we talked about this last week. if it's an exhibition match and you're raising some money and you're having some fun, I'm all good with that. Okay? I just hope that the comeback doesn't go to his head and he thinks that all of a sudden he can become a great boxer again, a great fighter, when he couldn't beat mediocre guys at the end of his career. Okay? That's the problem, that people have a short memory here, and so they don't remember that Mike sucked at the end. He had lost it already, lost the edge. And listen, Mike Tyson is what he is, man. He's amazing. But, you know, he might be a few sandwiches short of a picnic here, so you got to worry about that. So Tito Ortiz, obviously, MMA fighter. Everybody knows Tito. Tito Ortiz has been offered a Tyson fight. Interesting. So it would be Tyson and Tito Ortiz. That would actually see, because if you do Tyson Holyfield, you got old people watching, old people caring. If you have Tyson Tito Ortiz, you have the young people that already know MMA, and obviously he's like one of the godfathers of the MMA. And we all know what Tyson is to boxing, same thing. And that allows you to bring both cultures together, and it allows a much bigger audience actually than just, because if you do Evander Tyson, the old people that already saw this, they already saw this when it was at its prime. Why do they want to see that now? It's kind of like getting Pacquiao Mayweather again. It's like, really? You kind of know what it is. And so this actually has intrigue behind it. Tito Ortiz addresses this. Let's go first with Tito talking about being offered the Tyson fight.
I was watching Mike Tyson hit pads with one of my old trainers, Rafael Cordera. Right. And Tyson looked like the old Tyson, fast and speed and powerful. I was just like, wow, Tyson's going to make a comeback? And all of a sudden, 2 days later, I get a phone call and someone started asking me, what do you think about fighting Mike Tyson? I was like, really?
This is going to be good because I again, for the drama purposes of it and for fun, now it will be dangerous because both guys are going to be fighting. It's not going to be as exhibition as it may seem. You know what I mean? And they're both going to go for it. So Tito was asked, is it going to be boxing or it's going to be MMA? If you see Tyson training, obviously it's going to be boxing. But here's Tito answering the question.
This is an opportunity of my life. I'm in. I'm not sure if it's going to be MMA or boxing yet. I haven't even got that far. I think that we both got to be cleared by the athletic commission. So that's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
But either or, I mean, I've been boxing for 20 years, man, and my boxing skills have gotten better and better. I mean, they may not be at the same level as Tyson, but has Tyson been punched in the face in the last 15 years? No, he hasn't. And I have, and I've been able to subdue everyone I've competed against over the last 4 years.
So you have a confident Tito Ortiz, and, you know, he is going to first handle things with respect here on Facing Tyson.
Well, you know, one and first foremost, before everything, I respect Mike. Right? Mike's an amazing man. He's an amazing individual in general. Just what he's gone through and what he's became, I got to give him nothing but respect. So I'm not trying to disrespect him at all. Of anything that I say from this point out on, I really want to let him know that, you know, Mike, you are the man. You are one of the best in the world. But I was one of the best in the world in my own game too.
You hear the last two sound bites and you hear respect, but there's confidence on his end. And why do you think there's confidence? Because Tito Ortiz knows how Mike Tyson's career ended. And then he's been inactive for a long, long time now, for 15 years. So then that puts you even more behind the eight ball. It might be an exhibition, but Tito Ortiz, okay, these guys are fighters at heart. He's looking forward to this and I think he feels like he's got a good shot at beating Mike Tyson right now. All right, here's Tito, by the way, on the potential of this fight.
You know, Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather did. I think we could double that. I just think it would be amazing. I think it would be fun. I think it'd be a great opportunity for both of our brands.
Oh, yeah.
I think the hard work that pays off, the person in hand will get raised. Everybody knows me as being a hard worker. So,
and he's right about that because the potential of the fight. When Pacquiao Mayweather, we got that towards the end of that fight. We all knew that it was way past its prime, and sure enough, that's how it ended up looking. And then we had what he just talked about, the Conor McGregor Mayweather type of, exhibition, whatever the hell you want to call it. And we knew it was kind of a joke already because Mayweather, if he's going to get in the ring, it's because he knows that you're not going to beat him. And we kind of knew that Conor did not have the boxing skills. I mean, boxers don't have the boxing skills to beat Mayweather because he's so good defensively. How the hell is this guy going to do it, right? Here, you kind of get the feeling that Tito is going to have a shot, okay? And you also get the feeling that this is going to be a bit of a war, too, between these two guys. Also, the question was posed to Tito, can you beat Iron Mike Tyson?
Well, do you think Evander Holyfield stepped up and said, that's Mike Tyson, I'm going to be afraid of him, I'm not going to be able to tie up with him and tire him out and knock him out in the 7th, 8th round? No, it's all a game plan. It's all what you're going to do to make the fight interesting, and I'm that person to make it happen.
Telling you, you can tell. You listen to all those sound bites, and that was on TMZ, by the way, Tito Ortiz on TMZ. You hear all those sound bites, you hear a confident guy that feels that he can beat Tyson. What do you think? Those of you that are watching right now, who wins? Tito Ortiz or Tyson? In a boxing match. MMA, we all know what's going to happen. Obviously, Tyson will lose badly. But in a boxing match, we all know Tyson can hit hard. Can Tito Ortiz avoid that punch? Or is Tito Ortiz's boxing skills good enough to take down Tyson? You tell me. Tell me there on the chat board and on the accidentlawfirm.com text line 786-322-1105, on Twitter at Big O Show. Many ways to reach out to us on the program and give us the answer. Who do you think ends up winning there? All right? 786-322-1105. Now, I saw this story that reminded me of the Miami Dolphins. And it's got to be, I got to tell you, when I see a story like this, I get an uneasy feeling for that team, and I don't end up feeling positive about it. I end up getting a negative vibe from it, and I think it's a terrible, terrible situation to be in because it's not realistic of what you end up getting out of it. So the Falcons, I read this article. Did you know that the Atlanta Falcons have 17 first-round picks, former first-round picks, on their team? So I was reading this article about this, that, they've got this roster and they've got 17 and all this stuff, and that they're loaded and that they could make a, run this year. And you know what I thought of? I thought of the Dolphins in 95 when Shula had the 19 first-round picks. Then a couple of years later, the Oakland Raiders had, I believe it was 21 first-round picks. It was more than Miami's 19. I don't know what year it was. If you're a Raiders fan, you might know what the hell I'm talking about.
That was the team they would talk about. There's not enough footballs on the field,
right,
for all the guys they had.
Right, and both teams flopped. Both, okay? Miami was a disaster, and that was the talk, and people wrote articles about it, and oh, my Lord, Miami is loaded. They've got 19 former first-rounders. And part of collecting all those first-rounders, whether it's Atlanta, whether it's the Raiders, whether it's the Dolphins, you're actually picking up failed first-round picks from other teams. It's not like you hit on 17, 19, or 21 successful first-round picks. Okay? Because if they were successful, well, in today's football, you can't pay them all. So you can't keep all of them. Right? So that's how you accumulate those kind of things. And then we use these articles as a source of creating confidence, or that they're headed in the right direction because they've got all these former first-round picks on their team. And that doesn't mean anything, dude, because half of the first-rounders fail every single year. At least half fail every single year. So there's a lot of failed first-round picks. So when I saw that story, and they're talking about the Falcons and their 17 former first-round picks, immediately I thought Dolphins and I thought Raiders. And I know Raiders fans have the same nightmare memory that obviously Dolphins do too. Because it's something that was just hammered away by the media, used as some kind of talking point, some way of proving to you that, oh, they're going to be awesome because they've got all these former first-round picks. Like, who gives a rat's ass if you got Jamarcus Russell handing off to Sammy Smith? Who cares? They both suck. They both never made it. They couldn't get it done. And first-rounders like that are all over. 17 first-rounders for the Falcons. Let me tell you something. Anybody out there that's a Falcons fan and they're using that as, oh, well, you know, our team's loaded. We got 17 former first-rounders. Please remind them of the Dolphins and the Raiders when you see them. Okay, tell them the story. Because I know young people, they don't have perspective. They haven't lived through everything, right? And not that I've lived through everything, but man, I've lived through a lot already in 53 years. And when it comes to sports in 30, I've covered a lot. So I've lived a lot, I've covered a lot, I've kind of experienced it, and that's I've told you guys this many, many times over and over and over and over again. Getting older is no fun, obviously. Okay, your body's breaking down, you're losing everything that you had back in the day. But the one thing you do have as you get older is perspective because of your experiences. And to me, when I saw that Falcon story, man, right away I said, all right, this is the Dolphins and the Raiders all over again. Crazy stuff. Big O, do you see the Finns making a play for Jamal Adams or the Jets within the division? Alex Diaz, go back and listen to the show. I already talked about that. Let's see what else. Julius 305, agree. Tyson will crush him, but the real winner is their bank accounts. Yes. I just hope there's no, serious damage, man. Because those are two hard-hitting dudes, man. Wasn't Devontae Parker a failed first-round pick until last year? Sir, he's still a failed first-round pick. Okay? Just so you'll know. As much as I wanted Parker, because I'm a Parker guy, I picked Parker. Picked him months before he was drafted. I wanted him on the Dolphins. I'm wrong right now. Even with the good year he had last year, I'm still wrong about Devontae Parker. Let's get that straight. All right? Devontae Parker is not a successful pick yet. He needs to do it another 2 seasons before you start thinking, okay, this is working out for us. 1 year out of 5 is absolutely failed. The first concert my daughter took me to was Iron Maiden. It was her Father's Day's gift to me when she was 16. She's now 25. I can't remember the first one I took her to music. Sucked, but we had fun. My daughter's first concert was Kiss that I took her to. She went to a Hannah Montana concert before that. I didn't take her to that. That would be my wife that would go to a Hannah Montana concert. That I am not going to go to, but the wife went with her to the Hannah Montana concert. So I took her to a Kiss concert. And then I said, see, this is a real concert. Not that crap you went to. Is there a clutch gene? Montana had it if it exists. Yeah, there's several guys that have it, and Montana definitely had that clutch gene. Tyson will win because his bite is bigger and his bark, bigger than his bark. LOL. All right. What else do we have here? Big O, check your Twitter. I text that picture with my Dan can text. Sorry, thought the pics went through on the text line. No. If you want to send me pics or videos or whatever, remember, email is the easiest one. Orlando@thebigoradioshow.com. That's a way to reach out to us there. So you said what? Twitter? You send me the pic. All right, we will check it out on Twitter and see if you have it there. Let me see. Okay. I see what you're saying. You're talking about Marino with a mask. Yeah, I saw that. I saw Marino with a mask. That was funny. You still never expect Marino to wear a mask because you kind of expect somebody to go shopping for Marino. You don't expect Marino to do his own shopping, right? That's kind of the way you imagined it. You know, Dan's really a normal guy, but we kind of look at him like another way, like Dan's pushing a shopping cart and he's got a mask on.
Over there in the paper product area looking for toilet paper, right?
It's just, it's just weird, Dan Marino.
Damn,
with a
there's
mask.
still no toilet paper on the aisle here.
Not Dan Marino with a mask and glasses. That was classic. That was good. I saw that over the weekend. And, hey, listen, everybody's got to go, and you got to go get some stuff. And you know what? If you're Dan, you want to go instead of your wife, right? Unless you're in my house, then my wife makes me stay, and she goes, no, you got the 5 stents in your heart. You stay. Big O, is that your original hair for 53? No, I don't dye. D-Y-I, not D-I-E. I will die soon. I don't know when, but probably soon. No, this is all my real hair, man. All real hair, all real color and everything. Yes, I'm kind of lucky at 53 to have a couple of strands left. Let's see, what else do we have here on it? Sorry, Big O, tuning in late. No problem, Alex. It's all good, baby. It's all good in the hood. We just don't do the radio thing where we repeat the same stories over and over again. We don't have to do that here. So that's why. So sometimes if you join late, I may have already gotten into a specific subject that you were wanting me to talk about. Big O, that lady who killed her kid. Oh, yes. Ripley. Yes, she is as disgusting and vile a human being as there exists on the planet. The story was so disturbing. The fact that she took the kid to one lake to drown him. People came out, saved the kid. She then grabbed the kid and took him to another lake and drowned him. This is about the most evil bitch I have ever seen in my life. There isn't a death penalty nice enough for her in this country. Now, I know that some places outside of this country could do some really special things to her. And I got to be honest with you, there's a part of me that just hopes they release her into general population. The ladies, and I use that term loosely, in that place will take care of her. Because criminals have a strange set of laws. They can commit crimes, but then when it becomes the crime of children and rape and things like that, that is something that they even draw the line to that. Okay? So I just hope they put her into general population. The rest will take care of itself. Let her suffer for a long time in general population. But yeah, it's pretty disgusting. I mean, wow. Anyone that would do something like that to a child is the worst human being ever. And she is the worst human being ever. Okay? It's just disgusting. It really is. All right. 786-322-1105 if you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line. Sorry, it went to a twisted area, but you mentioned it, and it just, as a father, those are moments that you can't, there's no way I could comprehend anything like that at all. Seriously, that's my problem with all of this. That I just cannot comprehend with anything like this. Brian May from Queen. You remember when I was talking about Brian May from Queen, that he tore his butt? You remember that? Remember that when he was gardening?
Gardening.
Right?
Ripped his anal cavity.
Right. Well, we had some fun with it. I got to tell you something. It wasn't too fun. Brian May updated his fans of his health, revealing that he suffered a debilitating nerve pain for weeks. He was hospitalized after ripping his gluteus maximus to shreds in a moment of overenthusiastic gardening, which I'm still trying to figure out what's overenthusiastic gardening. Anyways, May noted on Saturday that the pain from his ordeal wasn't a glute thing after all. He has paralyzed his brain after starting about 3 weeks ago. I felt it took over my personality, May wrote in an Instagram post. I woke up feeling that somehow the pain was me and I was struggling to get back in my body, and I did give in and take the heavy-duty painkillers. And in the end, it was a nightmare world. The only thing to do was kick it all around and come out. But I can only do that because I got some great physicians to help and some osteotherapy. He says the pain management rehab now, he can sit and potter slowly around, holding on to things with almost no pain. Earlier on Saturday, he posted a photo of himself, his first walk in the park since all of it began. I'm dependent on these crutch devices to get around. There's always one snag. Well, not for long, hopefully. I've been through these scrapes plenty of times before. They make you stronger. If they don't kill you, well, I'm not planning to check out just yet. So in all of this, okay, with Brian May, he also suffered a heart attack in the process. Okay? He revealed that he recently suffered a small heart attack which left him very near death. He goes, I'm good. There's no need to panic, the guitarist said in an Instagram post. Please don't send me sympathies as such because I'm good. Just send me congratulations if you'd like. 2 weeks ago, it was reported May was hospitalized when he ripped his gluteus maximus. A lower back MRI revealed that May had a compressed sciatic nerve, perhaps exacerbated by years of wearing a heavy guitar over his neck. And that's why he had the feeling that someone was putting a screwdriver in his back. So finally, we started treating the thing that it was. I've been putting the ice pack in the wrong place for about 10 days. One health problem was solved, another emerged. In the middle of the whole saga of the painful backside, I had a small heart attack. I say small, it's something that didn't do me any harm. It was about 40 minutes of pain in the chest and tightness and the feeling in the arms and the sweating. I'm incredibly grateful now that I have a life to lead again. I was actually near death because of this, but the pain that I had from this was completely different. It's funny how things work. I'm good. I'm here. I'm ready to rock. Damn. That's a hell of an ordeal, bro, for Brian May. Right there. Damn. That's some scary stuff, bro. Heart attack. Tear your gluteus maximus.
Be careful when you're gardening.
Yeah, and over-enthusiastic gardening. I'm still trying to figure that out, bro. You're high-fiving and you're jumping up in the air after you plant a daffodil or something? What the hell is that, bro? I'm not sure what the hell that is.
Do you have some nude females out there while you're, then you're, I don't understand it.
It's crazy. That's nuts. Today, by the way, in music history, back in 2004, in the Grammys, Evanescence won Artist of the Year. And that year, in 2004, on this date, 50 Cent, Sean Paul, Fountains of Wayne, Stacey's mom, who just passed away, the singer, they were all on that list of Artist of the Year. So Evanescence ended up winning, right? And Amy Lee is the singer, the amazing singer, by the way, of Evanescence, and talking about receiving the award, right? And so, do we have it? Nothing? Amazing, dude. Amazing. All right. I thought we had the sound. I don't know why we don't have the sound, but whatever. I thought we had the sound. It was anyway, that day, 50 Cent, they ended up winning the award, right? So they get presented and they go up on stage. And when they go up on stage, 50 Cent was pissed that he didn't win. So he went up on stage and rounded them, right? And so Amy Lee handled it with absolute class. So go ahead. Do we have anything? The board surfer, Bill. Although, I don't know, his board surfing is more like us crashing in a coral all the time, pretty much. We're
Sorry,
like
I'm over here
food.
podcasting. Let me get
Let's go.
All right, now let's see who takes home the Best New Artist crown that Ms. Jones here has worn so gracefully for the last year. The nominees for Best New Artist are Evanescence, 50 Cent, Fountains of Wayne, Heather Headley, Sean Paul. Nora, this is your thing.
Oh, thank you. All right. Okay. The best new artist is Evanescence. Hi. Oh, what did I do? This is my first time. Thanks, 50. In addition to 50 Cent, I'd like to thank, first of all, my record label Wind Up for finding us, especially Diana Meltzer for believing in me. Thank you to the fans, because I know there's no way that Modern Rock would have put a chicken and piano on Modern Rock Radio if it wasn't for the fans calling in over and over.
So there you go. And so she gives the rest of her acceptance speech there, and you heard how she said thanks, 50. And I got to say, to this day, it was a classless move by 50. It was, because it's not his moment. He lost. Don't be a sore loser, dude. You know what I mean? That's disgusting that you're a sore loser. It really is. It was sad. But I give Amy a lot of credit. And, you know, listen, that was 2004. 16 years later, who fills arenas? Evanescence or 50 Cent? Because I don't think 50 Cent can fill arenas anymore. I'm just saying. Evanescence is still filling arenas. You know, so whatever. It was a great album, and he deserved a lot of love that year, and so did Sean Paul. I don't know about Fountains of Wayne for one song, but that's still their only song. But Evanescence is one hell of a band, and Amy Lee, she is freaking awesome. But to this day, still, Fitty, that wasn't a good move on your part, man. That was a lack of absolute class there.
Traditionally,
overall.
the best new artist is kind of a curse.
Yeah.
You don't do anything after.
Right. Yeah. But Evanescence has been outstanding.
Look, there's a few, but traditionally,
Yeah,
it's
no, I
kinda
get what
like,
you're saying.
are you on Madden? Oh, guess who's not going to be able to play next year?
Fountains of Wayne would be
Yes.
the one out of the four that would win. And then they beat Stacy's mom, and
Yeah.
that's it. You know, Sean Paul's had a hell of a career. 50 Cent's had a hell of a career, and Evanescence has had a hell of a career, actually. So what you're saying is if that one-hit wonder has that just amazing, whatever, what's that that dance that they did with that song
Macarena,
that kind of crap, you know what I mean? And then you never, or Psy, the Gunga Jin or whatever the hell, what's that called again? Well, not Gunga Jin. What's that called? Dunga, whatever the hell it's called.
Milli Vanilli?
No, Milli Vanilli. Oh, no, but they had a couple hits. They had a couple, actually.
The person that sang it, they did the facial.
Oh, yeah. But they had 2 hits, actually, Milli Vanilli. You got to give them a little. But Psy had that one. What was that? What the hell is that name from Psy? That they were like dancing on a horse or something. What the hell was the name of that dance? Whatever. You guys know what the hell I'm talking about. That kind of crap. Anyway, so there you go. Classless move by Fitty back in the day. Still remember that. And that was today, back in 2004. Gangnam Style. That's it. Gangnam Style. That's it. Gangnam Style. That crap right there. Interesting. All right, 786-322-1105. That's 786-322-1105 if you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line. I told you I watched a police concert over the weekend, so I run into a story this morning. Stuart Copeland from the Police has one song that he turns off from the Police when he hears it on the radio. And it's pretty interesting. Listen to this. Message in a Bottle, which is a great, great song, right? The trio often fought their own desires to overplay in their music and tended to rely on casting vote of guitarist Andy Summers. But things didn't work out that way when they laid down the track in 1979. If I'm driving along in my car and the tune comes on, I'll listen to it, Copeland says. He told Uncle Joe Benson on the Ultimate Classic Rocks Night radio show, "There's some things I would have done a little different now." He goes, "At the end of Message in the Bottle, there's too many drum overdubs. It's such a great song, and then it comes to the end, and I switch over to another station because I screwed up." Where was Andy at the moment? He was a really good filter for all of that because we all overdid it. And then usually Andy would say, no, not too much less, more. And he was right usually. When he was, where was he when I needed him at the end of Message in the Bottle? So how about that? So, and I would imagine that happens to a lot of musicians that years later, they hear little things in their music that they don't like. And they're like, okay. And Message in a Bottle is like one of the great Police songs of all time. It's like impossible to turn that song off because it's so good, And for Stuart Copeland, at the end of that song, he's absolutely tuning out that one. It's interesting. Did you see Journey, by the way? They completed their band. After they fired Ross Valerie and company for trying to embezzle and steal the name. Over the weekend, Neil Sean has addressed that Randy Jackson is back with the band. He's playing bass. Narada Michael Walden is the drummer. And Jason Derlachta is going to be a keyboardist and vocalist. And all you have left now from Journey original would be Jonathan Cain and Neil Sean. So Arnel Pineda, Jonathan Cain, and Neil Sean, along with 3 guys. So now you have a 6-piece band for Journey. So after getting rid of the guys for trying to embezzle from them, they have now replaced them. And now we await for them to announce their tour again for 2021, which, by the way, it's the Pretenders opening up for Journey. How about that, dude? That's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to see it. For those of you out there, just in case, if you've never been to a Journey concert with Arnel Pineda, please go. Please do it. If you're like, oh, no Steve Perry, no Journey, I get it. You're right. Steve Perry, and he's God. But this guy, Arnel, is as close a clone as you could possibly get. And Sean shreds. And Jonathan Cain is awesome. And I guarantee, and obviously I know already Randy Jackson, but I'm sure the other two musicians are exceptional because Neil Sean's not going to have a slappy join their band. And I read their credentials, actually. They've got some pretty damn good credentials. So I would imagine that this band's going to sound great, but Neil Sean shreds for 2 hours, and Arnel Pineda makes you forget Steve Perry for a while. I'm not telling you he's better than Steve Perry. I'm not telling you he's his equal, but he's close enough to his equal that you will, if you close your eyes and just listen to the concert, which you don't want to do that. You want to watch it too. But if you just listen, you're going to go, wow, this sounds phenomenal. And then when the show is done, you're going to go, wow, I had a great freaking time. I promise you that. That's where I would give Neil Sean so much credit, that he has been able to maintain the magic of Journey with Arnel Pineda. And I think it's a really, really cool thing that he's been able to do that. Anyway, so there you go. All right. Hey, one more thing I wanted to mention, because I know I'm running a little late here on this one. Over the weekend, you guys saw, and I showed you, you saw it too, a friend of yours showed it to you, the picture of the pool with everybody loaded on it from the Ozarks, right? And people were all over each other and all that. And I told you earlier that I wouldn't even do this in a regular world. Forget about COVID. I wouldn't even go in that pool. That pool was disgusting to me, period, as it is. I can't imagine how many people are peeing in that damn pool. But anyway, so I get an answer from a guy, right? And he goes, oh, come on, let them have their fun. And I get back to him and I said, my brother, you know, I get it. I might ruin their lives because, you know, they may have to be home for a month or 2 months or 3 months. And I just want to remind people, you know, the average lifespan, you're probably 60 plus years. The average lifespan, I don't know what age it is, but I think it's in the 60s now, right? I think the average lifespan, no, maybe 70? Really? Have we gotten to 70
Yeah,
yet?
I think we are up in the early 70s. We were in the late 60s.
So I told the guy, hey, the average lifespan is 60 plus years. So if we ask people to stay in their homes for 2, 3, or 4 months, I get it. That's such a large portion of 60 plus years that you could ruin their entire lives. Okay, just a little perspective on all of this. We're all going to live for a long, long time. Some of us can live longer if we actually are smart and stay away from people and try to maybe let's wait this thing out a little bit more. But I also want to remind people, for those of you that are so over dramatic about, well, our freedoms and we got to go enjoy it. People make it sound like this is the last couple of months of their lives. And that if they're at home for a couple of months, their lives are over. And look, my wife and I are kind of homebodies, so this doesn't really affect me nearly as much as some people out there. You know what I mean? I know there's some of you husbands out there that probably don't want to be trapped up with your wives all day long. I'm not one of those guys. It doesn't bother me. I enjoy being around my wife and my daughter and my dogs. It doesn't bother me. So I know I'm a little different cat in that sense. But I do want to remind people in just a little perspective. If you have to be in your home for a month, 3 months, 4 or 5, not that I want you to be in your house for 5 months or 6 months or anything like that, but all I'm saying is, if we are in our houses like we have been for 2 months now, and now here we're starting to get out now, so it hasn't been that bad. It's not like, let's not make it sound like you are taking this large portion of my life and that I'll never be able to recapture it again. The only people I feel sorry for are high school kids and maybe the college to a certain extent, kids that are seniors and all that they don't get to kind of live out their final high school year the way they're supposed to with their friends and doing all kinds of stuff. That's a once-in-a-lifetime experience you never get to do again. And I feel bad for those kids. That we take away from you. But for those of us that are at home, the worst part is losing our jobs and money and bills. That's the bad part. That's the stuff that we can complain about. Or health or anything like that. But if anybody's complaining about the fact that I haven't gone out for 2 months so I can have some fun, and you're 25 years old, my Lord, you've got years and years to have fun, man. If you're 17 and you're home for a couple of months, it's not the end of the world, man. Even if you're 40 and you've been home for a couple of months, it's not the end of the world. You will get out again. You will have a life again. You will do all the things you normally did enjoy. But this ridiculousness of, oh my God, stop me from having my fun. It's so anti-American. Nobody's trying to be anti-American. We're just trying to save Americans. That's what we're trying to do. That's all it is. Let's see how few Americans we can make sick. You know? Not let's see how many we can make sick. No. Let's try to sicken as few people as possible. And that's what we're trying to do. So that guy that sent me well, let them have their fun. And I said, yeah, and let them also be carriers to go kill other people. Because that's also what you could be doing. But look, hopefully we've gotten through the worst. Hopefully better days are ahead. But the whiny little bitchy stuff about, oh, my life is over if I have to be in the house and I can't go out for another day or two or another week to the beach. The beach will be there, man. The bars will be there. Okay? The clubs will be there. The women will be there. The concerts will be there. Everything will be there for us again. But let's not make it sound like it's the end of the world because you're home and you have to watch some TV. I mean, come on, man. Let's go. All right, it is time to wrap it up here on the show. We slacked today, bro. We only did 2 hours and 45 minutes today. It's kind of lazy on our part.
Is that what you think? Because
no, I don't. But
I was thinking like most people are at home doing holiday.
Right. Yeah, they are. No, and 2 hours and 45 minutes of radio is really, 5 hours of radio with commercials. Right? Because, I mean, we don't really bombard you with a ton of commercials. You know what I'm saying?
We barely touch on commercials.
I know. I mean, we give you obviously we want you to support our sponsors, VSS West Pines. 12397 Pembroke Road. Go see my guys out there for all your CBD needs. Anyway, thank you all out there for tuning in. Thank you all out there. Thank you for chiming in on the Super Chat. Finn9113, sir, thank you for the love on the Super Chat. Appreciate you out there. Appreciate all of you that tuned in. Those of you that are watching, those of you that are listening and downloading the show. Remember, you can reach out to us anytime on the accidentlawfirm.com text line 786-322-1105. That's 786-322-1105. You can also reach out to us on Twitter. That's at Big O Show. Julius305, who is daily on the Super Chat, and he chimes in. Thank you, Julius. I appreciate you, man. We're signing out, and he wanted to get in a shot there, and thank you.
I know that, dude.
Very nice.
Where'd you get this?
Super Chats!
Oh, gnarly!
Awesome! Totally awesome! There you go. There you go. Thank you. Thank you, Julius305. You're a daily contributor, my man. And that is very, very nice of you. Appreciate you as always. Billy says, sorry, Big O, this was a dry run. The real one hits the fall, according to Bill Gates. Well, hey, listen, whatever it was, let's be smarter, and hopefully we're better prepared if it ever happens again. I hope there isn't a second wave. I hope everybody's wrong. like they are about Dolphin reports constantly. So we'll see. You know what I mean? But the key is that we're all smart and we look out for each other. Okay? Happy Memorial Day out there. I want to, on behalf of Bill and myself, we thank everybody that has served, everybody that is serving to maintain our freedoms. We love you for it. We thank you because it gives us the freedom to do this every single day for all of you out there. So you guys be good out there. Thanks to Bill and Philippe, as always, putting it together, audio and video on the program. You all be good. Be safe out there. Bill?
Everybody, please, be safe the rest of the Memorial Day.
There you go. Be good.
Don't be out there running amok. Keep it in perspective.
And Ray?
Yes.
Ray Grulong, we got you, baby. You're here. You're part of the studio now. Appreciate your gift. Right there. Although I did add something. Oh, Alex Diaz chiming in on the super chat. Thank you as always. I did add something. I haven't. It's going to be right above me because I'm trying to get creative with it. We got this over the weekend. We had to add a little Ed Force One to the show. What do you think about that, huh? Adding a little Ed Force One.
That's awesome.
So we will. I will take it off of this thing, and then we're gonna hang it above me. So we'll have a little Ed Force One there on the show. So how about that? I love it, huh? Little Ed Force
I
One.
love when they're down in South America and they just come here to get cheap gas in America before they call it the end of the tour.
And another one, Alex Diaz. Thank you, sir. You give us a super chat. Give us the.
No way. Yes way. No way. Yes way.
They were fantastic.
Super chat. Thank you. You guys chime in here at late second as we wrap it up here on the show. We'll see you tomorrow. We'll be back tomorrow morning at 11, and on Wednesday again. We're all in studio through Wednesday. Thursday, we'll be at Toyota of Hollywood, and Friday, we'll be at Craig Zinn, Acura Pembroke Pines. So only 2 road trips this week, Thursday and Friday. So if you want to meet us out there on the road at any of those spots, come on out there. Y'all be good. Y'all be safe. Much love. Thank you as always.
Have a good one. We'll see you tomorrow.